is more explanatory in so far as it takes individual valuers to determine how goods and services should be utilized.
What do you mean more explanatory?
Well, just that for there to be a value, there needs to be a valuer, it would seem to me. No?
But that's going to go back to what I said earlier. It seems like you're trying to prescribe the LTV your interpretation of value. If you think value is something that's subjectively determined, right? Supply and demand mechanics. It's just not going to be what Marx is referring to when he says value.
Yeah, I'm not a champion of Marx, so I'm not concerned with defending Marx's.
Then it wouldn't be an attack on the theory, right? You'd just be equivocating.
I don't. From what I've read of Marx, and it's been many years, and when I get on here, it's to have casual conversation. I'm not in a formal debate, but yeah, I'm familiar with Marx. I read his. I read the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital many years ago, and I didn't think that held much historical weight, empirical weight, or
I don't see how that pertains to the. Look, you said you thought there was a contradiction.
You're asking me to reconcile my views with what Marx said, and it's not what I'm selling.
Well, no, that's not what he's asking you. He initially asked you if you think there is an incoherency in the theory, and for there to be an incoherency in the theory, it has to have some sort of internal contradiction.
Well, let's just let Pogan talk to him, because oftentimes it's a dog pile on Jeff, and let's just keep it a one-on-one.
It seems like your response was to say you do think there's a contradiction, and two quick things before I yield the mic to you for a bit. Number one, not understanding what Marx means when he says value, or thinking that's a bad interpretation of value or whatever, doesn't demonstrate a contradiction. And number two, prescribing your interpretation of value onto the theory is just equivocating on what Marx means by value, right? Which is an entirely different.
That's fine. I'm not trying to champion Marx's views or reconcile them with anything. The degree to which I've heard the labor theory of value explained to me, I've never found it very satisfying, or that it explained markets.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but presumably you wouldn't need it explained to you, since you claim to read Marx.
I claim to have read Marx many years ago. See, this is why I don't really find these conversations enjoyable. I'm not trying to sell something, and
I'm just asking you a question.
Yeah, I don't have time to read everything. So when it comes to Marx, I thought that was something I could forego, and
you think that
have a pretty good understanding of the world.
Right. Do you think that after reading Marx, you deduced that there was a contradiction? Or did you think there was a contradiction because somebody explained the theory in a bad way to you? I'm not exactly sure what the contradiction is, because you haven't.
I've never heard it explained or read it explained in a good way. So
right, but what's the contradiction?
As far as I can tell, you use the word contradiction. I've not found it coherent in terms of explaining what value really is. It seems
you said you thought there was a contradiction.
Yeah, that was a word that you used. I don't know the contradiction. That may be too strong. I am not an expert on Marx or his work. So
then you don't think there's a contradiction?
I wouldn't say that either. I'm just not a proponent of that theory. I don't know what else you want from me.
Why would you make the claim that there's a contradiction if you don't actually
again,
know
that was actually your word, and I'm tentative. We're having a conversation here. I'm not. I have nothing to sell. So if
I don't know what that has. Look, I don't know what that has to do with anything.
That has to do with my interest in this conversation. That's all.
Sure. Look, when you say it's incoherent or you don't find it to be coherent, right? We take that to mean there's a contradiction. Yeah. And you also said,
well, not necessarily,
pretty much verbatim. Look, you said pretty much verbatim that you thought there was a contradiction.
No,
right?
It could be. I could find it not coherent because I'm not smart enough to see the magic or the light.
That's not what we take coherency to be.
Well,
if I don't understand something, I don't assume it's just one second.
Again, this line of questioning it's like a script, and I'm not really a Marx expert, and people like to.
The only reason there's a line of questioning is because you haven't answered the original.
Well, I told you I wasn't terribly interested in this, and you reluctantly tried to suck me in, and I guess you did that. And congratulations.
But it just seems
really
like you can't understand. Look, it just
I'm
seems
really
like you
not
can't defend what you said.
I'm really not interested in Marx in particular, and so we can leave it at that.
Then are you look, if you are that disinterested, are you willing to concede that you don't actually know it's incoherent?
I concede on any subject that I can be mistaken, sure.
Well, then you shouldn't have made the claim in the first place, right?
Well, you made the claim, and you know
that's not true. I'm asking you questions. How could I have made a claim? What would that claim even be, Jeff? Jeff thinks it's incoherent? I didn't say that. You said you thought there was a contradiction, and then you said it was incoherent.
Yeah, I did. I'm very tentative.
Hey, hello. Just let me finish speaking before you respond, right? You said you thought there was a contradiction, and then you expanded on that by saying you thought it was incoherent. We take incoherency to entail a contradiction. I asked what the contradiction was. You didn't answer the question, and now I'm just asking you to agree with me that you don't actually think it's incoherent.
I'm sorry, I'm not following your script. I know you're trying to play gotcha. I prefer more casual, thoughtful conversation. I have not done research on Marx, nor do I.
Just seems like you say things.
Well, I say things tentatively. I'm not selling certainty. It's why I'm not religious. I don't need certainty. I'm willing to concede that I don't know things about every topic, and I know that's not satisfying to a lot of people.
So just to clarify, you don't think the LTV is incoherent?
It's incoherent from the extent that it doesn't fully make sense to me. That's what I meant.
Again, right? If I don't understand something, I don't assume it's incoherent. Right? Incoherency entails a contradiction. If you say it's incoherent, you need to be able to demonstrate a contradiction.
Yeah,
but you also said, excuse me, you also said you don't actually know that there's a contradiction, right? So stop saying it's incoherent if you don't actually know that it's incoherent.
It seems incoherent to me. That's what I mean. Whatever I say, it seems
that's gibberish
to me. Well, I'm sorry. It seems like gibberish to me.
Sorry, I'm just asking you to retract the claim that it's incoherent, right?
I'm not retracting. I'm not making a formal statement. I'm not going to retract anything.
Then you're just being dishonest.
Oh, come on. See, this is what I'm talking about. It descends into personal attacks. And
would you like me to explain why I called you dishonest just now?
No, I'd just like you to back off.
Well, then I'll explain it to the room. You said the theory was
incoherent.
Does that
mean the room gets to say something back?
You said the theory was incoherent. We take incoherency to entail a contradiction.
Really wants to win.
Right?
That's your definition.
Well, it is the definition philosophically. Right?
There's only one definition. Interesting.
All right, I'm just gonna have to lower you because you seem
all
more
right.
interested.
Well, then that's when once you do that, you're done with this conversation, Bogan. I'm not allowing you to continue.
Well, I can raise his volume when I'm done. I just want to be able to make a statement.
There will be no lowering. If you want him as an interlocutor, you will not lower his volume. Period.
Sure. So your claim was that the theory is incoherent. We take incoherency to entail a contradiction.
Yeah.
Initially, you said you thought there was a contradiction, and then you weren't able to explain any of that. And then I asked you, are you willing to retract the claim that it's incoherent because you can't actually justify that it's incoherent? And now you're refusing to do that. The defense being, it seems incoherent, right? Which doesn't actually justify incoherence.
How do you know what explanations I've heard of this, and how do you know whether they were coherent or whether presented?
Well, I don't. That's why I'm asking you questions.
So I haven't heard coherent definitions of it. How can you debate that? I can't. I don't know what you've heard and haven't heard.
It's incoherent. If you don't actually know that it's incoherent and it just seems incoherent, right?
So I'm not using the word in the same way you use it. So what? Are we going to just argue about semantics all night long, or what?
Well, I think you're equivocating on what we mean by incoherent, right?
Okay, well that's fine. Then we can't communicate.
So the reason I'm accusing you of that now, right, is because not only did you say it was incoherent, you said you thought there was a contradiction. You clearly understand what incoherence generally means, but then you didn't demonstrate the contradiction, and you said, "Oh, I just mean it seems incoherent. I don't actually know that it's incoherent," and you won't retract the claim that it's incoherent.
I'm open to the idea that it might be coherent if presented in another way, but I haven't run across that.
So then, instead of saying it's incoherent, say I don't know.
Also,
I kind of have said that. You're the one who's dogmatic and says there's only one definition of this or that. And
so if your claim now is that you don't know,
if
then
I
you
don't
shouldn't
use
have
the
a
word
well,
exactly the way you use it, I have to retract something.
Well, yeah, because Because you
This
no
is kind
longer
of mental.
wait. No, that makes sense because you no longer believe that it's incoherent. You just think it may be incoherent. So your
I
claim
didn't say
that
it was incoherent to everybody.
Yes, you did.
To everybody? No, I did not.
Your claim was it is
You're
incoherent,
you're
and then you
reading-
expanded
you're reading.
on that by saying you thought there was a contradiction.
You're reading.
Neither
You're
of those
reading
claims.
into what I
Neither
said.
of those
Yeah.
claims have been justified.
You're adding. into what I
Neither of
said.
those claims have been justified.
Well, that's
You
fine.
don't know that it's you don't know that it's contradictory. You don't know that it's incoherent. So
Okay.
retract the claim that it was incoherent.
Well, I don't really have a dog in this fight, so let's just say you won this one.
Is that you conceding the point?
That's me trying to end this horrible conversation.
Do you think it's incoherent?
I'm kind of done.
All right. Well, I guess that's that. We'll open the floor.
Pogan, incoherency doesn't necessarily mean a contradiction. I mean, that's one way we could use it, but another way is simply meaningless.
I already gave the
right?
reasons. I thought he was talking about contradictions.
Also,
Yeah, but you misused the word
equivocation
incoherent.
is also equivocation is intentional.
is
Wait,
logically
Pogan, you can't unintentionally equivocate. That's actually contradictory. You can
but if something
conflate.
is logically incoherent, that means there's a contradiction.
Look, the dude just means, apparently, that he doesn't understand the theory, and he can't make a claim on whether or not it's contradictory or incoherent, right? So regardless of what the interpretation of coherency is, the claim would still be false. What he means to say is, I don't understand the labor theory of value. I'm open to it being intelligible or coherent, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
odd
he's-
to call it incoherent because it seems like he's trying to get the baggage of like the word we use without actually the meaning.
It's
then
not
when you try
odd.
to ask him, well, what does he
odd.
mean when he says incoherent?
It's
He's
the-
just
it's
like, well, I don't understand it.
It's the shotgun.
It's not odd because a lot of people use the word incoherent to mean unintelligible.
It's the shotgun method, right?
Well, yeah, but if you're saying it's unintelligible, you're saying it's not able to be understood.
Right. A lot of people use the word incoherent interchangeably with unintelligible.
Right, just like how a lot of people use the term equivocate when they mean conflate, because equivocation.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, equivocation is intentional. You can't unintentionally equivocate, Pogan.
Yeah, you
And
can.
it just feels like this is Pogan again picking on people's grammar and language and usage.
Why do you think equivocation is necessarily intentional?
It's by definition. If you look up the definition of equivocate, it means to intentionally disguise the distinction between the meanings of words. That's why conflate exists, because you
Thank
can
God, words mean
unintentionally.
something again.
You guys are
Yeah,
fucking
you can
nuts.
unintentionally.
You guys,
you can
like,
Hey, one
look,
sec,
you guys are
Pogan, look,
ridiculous,
Hey, one
right?
sec. I was in the middle of a sentence. So yeah,
It's just
you can.
unreal that anybody would defend a guy
Un-
that says something is incoherent
Hello.
and then can't actually
Look,
explain
holy shit,
what he
Pogan, I
even
was
means
answering a
by
question.
incoherent. But then
Can
also
s-
refuses to
can
say,
someone
okay,
reel in
I
Pogan
don't
really
actually
quick?
know that it's incoherent, right?
Or
He just
get one
bows out
more?
of the conversation because he can't answer questions. This is the guy you people defend,
Ramble.
So
right?
you stuck your
doesn't
prick
want
in his
to
ass.
There-
and you
discuss
I
wonder
don't
why
understand
he's
where this.
wonder
I
why
don't
he's
understand
bowing
where
out of
this. I
conversation.
don't understand where this ultra charitability comes from, right?
No,
The guy
shareability is
was
that he doesn't want to
extremely
argue
confident
with
at
you,
the onset of the
Pogan.
conversation and
No,
saying
he
there
wasn't.
was some issue he perceived with the
He
LTV.
literally didn't want to
And
argue
then,
with you,
and
Pogan.
then he clearly demonstrated that he doesn't understand the theory at all.
He said
Look.
he didn't want to argue with you, Pogan.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he didn't want to argue with you, but you kept pounding away at him.
Yep.
How many
Well,
times?
unfortunately,
How many times is a guy going to have to say you won before you take it as a victory? Numbnuts.
As soon as he retracts his claim.
Oh, I see. So he can't. The guy can't leave with a bit of dignity. You've got to fucking have your foot on his head.
Well, I mean, I'm not a fan of letting people just walk away when they say.
Letting him walk away with what?
shit.
Having minced
If you
through
could
an argument
violate
on the
people
internet?
with words, Pogan.
Having minced through an argument on the internet, that was his high crime and misdemeanor?
Again, if you say something that you can't justify and you demonstrate that you don't even know what the topic is and you don't understand the subject, right? I expect you to be honest and say that you were just talking out of your ass and you concede the claim or retract the claim,
He wasn't
rather than
prepared to go
acting like
chapter
it's
and
some
verse into
problem
Karl
with the
Marx
person
views.
attacking you for not
Shut up,
understanding what
Russ.
you're talking about. This is the modus operandi in the room, right? If you say something you don't justify and you demonstrate a lack of knowledge on the topic, despite seemingly thinking it's wrong or false, we expect you to retract your claim. But for some reason, the room's more interested in defending the guy and saying, oh, well, it's Pogan's fault for attacking somebody that was very confident in the LTV being problematic. You guys are just fucking nuts.
He wasn't comfortable. We understood that. Didn't you hear him say that?
Whatever, Poga. The next time you're sitting in this room wondering why there's nobody interesting to talk to, remember today.
Yeah, Pogan.
Fucking
Pogan is like Pogan.
Keller does think that there are no such things as market failures.
Oh yeah, he does, but I mean, and there's a way to pound on the guy.
If Pogan were my pet dog, I'd have to buy him one of those special dog dishes with all the, like, you know, maize in it, so that he wouldn't be able to eat it too fast.
That's true. You're supposed to grill his cheek and fucking banana leaf these guys.
Look, I just can't be an agent of entertainment value, right? It's not relevant to me if if the idea is let's just do a slow burn with somebody that has lulz cow potential. If that's the idea, it's just not going to happen. You say something that's unjustifiable, you're going to be attacked. If you can't justify the claim, retract it.
He's burning hard. He's burning hard. There's nothing but justice up in this place. Nothing but burning rectitude. I wish I was a man just like Pogan. 8-inch swinging gorilla dick.
I don't know what Gus is doing.
No truth shall fucking survive Pogan's whack.
Gus
Fucking
is trying to lash out at
rooster.
Pogan because I humiliated him.
You know, Godless, I don't know why. I mean, one minute you're calling Pogan suicidal, and the next minute he's your buddy.
That
One
was
minute you're
months
talking about
ago.
him behind his back, trying to get him server muted, and the next minute you're his buddy.
Gus, that was
And
months
Pogan,
ago. And,
and Pogan, the best thing of all is Pogan is too
blocked
stupid
on
to
G
see it.
Plus. The only person I ever blocked on G Plus was you, and then a few months later, I sent you a gift basket to the hospital, and now we're enemies again. So what?
Yeah, because you thought you could buy me because you're so shallow and stupid.
Buy
Because
what?
you're so unbelievably shallow and stupid. You thought you could say. Now, don't get me wrong; those are really nice things that you sent me, and I do have a measure of gratitude towards you for that. But you didn't fucking buy me, and you thought you did. So
No, I don't think that that was her intention. I mean, I've spoken with her about.
It came out later on, Michael, because when we ended up on the wrong side of a topic, that's the first thing she whipped out.
And she just.
I mean, when I spoke with her, she seemed very genuine about it.
Well, yeah, liars can do that, Michael, and I mean, you know.
Oof.
I mean.
Ludic, are you here?
Is he the next fight you're going to pick, Pogan?
No, he sent me something to read, and I was asking what it was about because I'm on my phone.
I guess when you read it, you'll find out what it's about.
Come on, guys. It's Friday.
I don't understand why Gus would attack Godless for what was something. I think what he said was something to the effect of every time she opens her mouth, she starts shit. And yet Gus is literally just sitting in the room right now.
What, punching you in the head?
Attacking me for
being a
just
prick?
wanting to figure out what was
Being
sent to me in a private message.
Driving away a reasonable guy.
It's just absurd. Like there's this wild double standard with Gus right now.
Because you're a penis with feet?
And then Gus just descends into the rhetoric, right? He just says random buzzwords or tosses out insults he thinks are witty rather than actually addressing
Jeff, did you hear about Matt Bell?
Is Jeff still here?
Jeff?
That's a fucking miracle.
Jeff.
We have an anti-Pogan umbrella open right now, Jeff. It's okay, you can talk.
Start talking about blockchain, he'll come back.
NAP.
Bitcoin is fake.
Hogan has 3 bitcoins. He's willing to give you 1. You want?
Jeff?
Universal preferable behavior. Stephen Molyneux. Stefan Molyneux. Even.
I'll surrender one of my 3 non-existent bitcoins if he retracts the question.
Oh.
Oh, and sex slave dude, come on, come back.
A sex slave?
Yeah,
well, he believes in the free market.
It's consensual. They signed the contract.
Keller is one of those libertarians, Gus. He's like all in on this shit.
Guys, like
you know Keller.
I've had conversations with Jeff Keller before, all of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, you know, when we have the paramilitary organization reporting to McDonald's at war with the paramilitary guys reporting to Pepsi, Jeff Keller will be there to explain to us why the NAP prevents such act.
Right. Why armament is preventative and not, reactionary.
So is Jeff Keller from the OG?
Oh yes.
Ah,
okay. He's deep Nadia Chad. He is. He used to show up. I started seeing him all the way back in 2015, I think.
Ah, nice
So
to
he's
meet
been
you
before
around
that,
for a while.
Mr. Keller.
Because he, it was at least 2014. Because I mean, I remember he was thick in it when I was. Coke versus Pepsi with tanks. That's some libertarian shit right there.
The taste is explosive.
Tom, did you want to do a quick try with that thing?
It's a good selling point.
I can't right now.
Do you mind if
My
I
investment in Chainlink just fucked me in the ass. I'm on my last dollar. Will you buy my kids, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean that's it. Didn't we even get him to bite that bullet? Like kids for sale and shit.
I had a long conversation.
That's the Rothbard position.
I had a long conversation with him that started with, imagine, Jeff, that you had a twin brother named Jeff, and that I buried an axe in your twin brother's head. What would you? It was like trying to pull teeth, trying to get him to admit that past a certain point we would have to have a police force. It was like trying to get him to. It was like pulling teeth. Best conversation I ever had, though.
Do you think his response to the LTV thing would be his response to somebody telling him that what he's doing is unethical, right? Like if he has like a sex slave dungeon and somebody approaches him and informs him that it's unethical, even in Ancapistan, you think Jeff Keller would just be like, well, I don't know if it's unethical. It's possible, I guess. You know, maybe.
But I did purchase this basement, these handcuffs, and this person.
You see, supply and demand dictates that these children are valuable.
Their supply, and I demand them. And
There
they
you
signed
go.
the contract. They weren't conscious while they signed the contract, and it was my hand guiding them, but it is still the case that their hand made contact with the paper that signs over their rights to me. So you have no right to step on my property.
They're also freely reproducible.
See, Pogan, the problem with the labor theory of value is that it doesn't allow for me to subjectively determine the value of other humans.
Yes, Vic, those are freely reproducible children.
Well, I would argue that parenting requires labor power. And so there are commodities that go into the labor power of parenting. So I don't think it would be freely reproducible.
Jesus. Michael is bullshitting right now.
I could do this all day.
You don't think parenting is an act of unskilled labor?
Me?
Yeah, I don't think parenting is
whoever was
unskilled labor. I mean,
Wait.
we have libertarians. As evidence, I present to you libertarians.
But you can just give them up for adoption.
Yeah, I mean, like, presumably there's some amount of socially necessary labor time to produce, like, an adolescent, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And if you don't invest the necessary commodities for that labor power, you get libertarians.
So the Solly Sullivan person in side chat just said, "It's strange that Pogan argues for the labor theory of value on purely moral grounds most of the time."
What the fuck?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, who is saying there has to be a police force, though? That doesn't make any sense.
That there has to be what?
A police force.
I think it was Gus.
That's contract law, though. No, come on. No, I was wrong. We can just use contracts to keep people from killing each other.
Oh, Jeff, are you back?
You know, nobody will sell them a slushie at the local 7-Eleven if they're.
You can just condition people without wanting to kill each other.
Jeff, are you able to concede the concede?
He's
are
done
you
with
able
that.
to retract the claim?
Damn it. Look, I want to ask Jeff about Matt Bell. Did you hear about Matt Bell? What are your thoughts? Can you get on voice? Because this text thing sucks.
I saw the report in one place. I tried to find more than one account of it, though. Do you know where else I can corroborate what I saw?
Yeah, I have a whole video of it on my channel. Hang on a second.
I did see one video. I don't know if it was yours.
Was it the one where he was getting arrested?
No, I did not see that. Okay, if you have that, that would.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I'll get you that.
If this ever happens to EF, what do you think will happen to Jack?
He'll orgasm.
Like, will he die of priapism?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Do you
if that happened to EF, there would be like there would be a shutdown. It would become a federal holiday around here. We would mark the fucking day, and every year we would just like get naked in front of mirrors and rub peanut butter on ourselves or something.
So I asked Jack. He said he would be sad if it happened to EF.
Yeah, he's kind of ongoing entertainment.
Well, he was just saying like he wouldn't wish that on anybody. Plus, like Jack doesn't have a problem with child rape, so he would just think that like they would be unlawfully imprisoned. Or not unlawfully, but unethically or whatever.
Unquantized. No, it's not a problem for the LTV. How have you been, Vic?
Oh, did he leave? Oh, Danny is also has like these sort of ANCAP type sympathies, right, Danny?
Oh, no.
I'm something like a minarchist, yeah.
Yeah.
I got Danny to admit some regulations. Yes.
A minarchist.
Well, that's a contradiction then.
Yeah.
Not for a minarchist.
Not for a minarchist. I'm just saying that minimal government.
But I think Vic would say that a minarchist is a contradiction.
Look, I hate the government.
Wouldn't like minarchism?
Then why have any at all?
Well, hold on. Isn't minarchism like uninformative because all you're saying is that like there shouldn't be any more government than there should?
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You're right, it's not informative at all.
So it's literally just everyone's. So it's literally just everyone's view.
I have a
literally. It's just what it is. What minarchists are people who are. Wait. They're just people like you just said that they want enough government for there to be enough, right? And then also to avoid feudalism, which is what minarchism is. Minarchism just is feudalism.
I don't know about this.
Danny, I have a question for you.
Well, you could say minarchism turns into feudalism or something, but it is.
Right, that's the thesis, right?
Right.
What was the question?
What are your thoughts on the LTV?
I don't have very many thoughts. There's just too much stuff to wade through.
Danny wants to abolish the law of value by returning us to.
I'm interested in why. How do I phrase this? Because I don't want to be as confrontational with you as I was with Jeff.
No, you can. That's fine. You can go ham. I have an unpopular view.
I consider you a friend is the thing. So, on what basis?
That's only one way.
Okay, Jovan, asshole. On what basis
like you
do you
said,
support
if
capitalism?
the view is incoherent, right, then you're gonna go after him, right? That's what you said.
I mean, that's fine. If it's incoherent, I'm fine. On what basis do I what? Support capitalism?
Yeah.
I get phones and stuff.
Foolproof argument.
Wow.
Can't get that in communism?
Really? I
Yes.
mean, it seems like if I.
What's the contradiction, Danny?
It seems like to get to communism, a lot of people have to die.
Yeah, but you could get a phone out of those people dying.
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, I agree with that. That's actually true.
I mean, not necessarily, but he's right. There's like
no, I mean
it's a painful process to get to communism.
Well, especially if you're a Leninist, then you think there has to be a revolution.
If you kill 10,000 people, you get a free phone.
If you're Yuri, you're going to be committing.
Plus, communism doesn't really benefit anybody because the only benefit would be of future generations, but they wouldn't even exist if we didn't go through communism. So it'd be like the problem of benefiting people that don't exist yet.
I don't actually have I don't have an issue with people dying so long as communism is established, but I'm interested in why you think people dying is problematic, right? Because let's just hypothetically say you're some pussy ass pacifist Marxist or whatever, and you think it's morally objectionable for people to die regardless of the circumstance, but you also, through some sort of Leninist argument, realize that the only manner by which a socialist state, which then transitions into a communist society, is going to be established is with the deaths of certain people that currently comprise the elite. Do you think that your concern for people's lives overrules the concern of society, right? The concern of being basically ruled by the aristocratic class?
Wait, but Pogan, the end goal isn't going to be accomplished until like future generations, right?
That's irrelevant.
Yeah,
all we're talking about is we're trying to see if. Well, the question has nothing to do with whether or not future generations will benefit, right? We're just asking.
No.
Does Danny's, God.
Oh wait, no. What were you saying?
Does Danny's preference for people not being killed overrule the preference for establishing an ethical system?
Well, I don't think we're in an unethical system.
Yeah, I think the ethics question is going to be like super boring. I'm more interested in hearing why Danny thinks capitalism is sustainable.
Well, I might agree that's not sustainable.
But my iPhones.
No, but so if it's unsustainable, something's got to follow it, right?
Well,
yeah,
Danny,
death and destruction.
Yeah, Danny,
but wouldn't you say if the options that you have are like death and destruction, or maybe having fewer iPhones, you choose having fewer iPhones?
Yeah, but that's that. I'm gonna be dead long before that.
Well, no, hold on. Have you ever heard of the RCP 8.5 scenario?
I don't know what that is. No.
It's the theoretical worst case projection for climate change right now. It has total global warming by 10 degrees Fahrenheit for every part of the world, pretty much, at least inhabited part of the world, by 20.
Wouldn't global warming also be an issue in communism or something?
No.
Well, hold on. So
I want cars though.
Well, hold on. So it's not necessarily entailed by communism that global warming does not happen, but it seems like there are going to be certain things that exacerbate global warming. maybe not unique to capitalism, but are going to be either like worse under capitalism or are going to be sort of like at least not present under communism. It's a tragedy of the commons, right? So
yeah, the point is that capitalists are going to be motivated to destroy the environment for profit.
Okay, well, when is the world ending exactly?
Usually people's moral considerations extend beyond their own lifespan. I think you're talking to the wrong person when you're talking.
If the RCP 8.5 scenario holds, the RC5 scenario holds, that's pretty much the end of the human race.
When? What year?
2100.
2100, and that's
we're fine.
And that's
we're fine.
That's like, well, no, it's like a rapid decline prior to that, such that like the human race is like dying off from like catastrophic heat waves and fucking like natural disasters. Like
the internet. This is just like a Mayans prediction.
It's just like a what?
Like the Mayans.
Danny doesn't care because he's stated like multiple times he's not going to be alive for that shit. So
no, but you will be for the really bad stuff though, right? Because the internet goes away in like
2040.
Yeah, because
no internet by 2040. Okay.
2040
labor theory of value.
2040 or 2030, simply in virtue of the fact that like natural disasters and sea rise would just make the infrastructure unsustainable.
Wait, Danny, you'll be 7 years old by then. You wouldn't even care about the internet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess never mind. It's okay.
Plus, he's a Christian, so I mean, why the fuck would he care about it? I'm playing, Danny.
The world was just meant to be pillaged for our use as we see fit.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, so what in 2100? That's when
No,
Jesus.
but then like fucking higher to that.
Okay. That's when Jesus is coming back. Then by 2100, you should talk to those people that like those Christians that predict the end of the world. Maybe you can help them out.
It seems like due to prior probability, it's not gonna very.
They always get the wrong dates. Maybe if they had people like you, Luca, they could get like a right prediction.
So we still just have we gotten past my iPhones yet, or we still?
Jesus will come back.
I want to know if Jeff Keller is willing to retract his claim.
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit.
Like, if it's the case that the 8.5 scenario holds, it's like pretty much there's about 30 good years left, maybe 20, 30 good years left for humans on the planet. Aren't like just a nightmarish black hole of despair, and then after that, it's just awful.
That kind of lines up well with Revelation.
I think the problem is that the only way to achieve communists is through a Leninist revolution, and a Leninist revolution doesn't benefit anybody. So we shouldn't achieve communism.
Well, why did the Leninist revolution happen in Russia then?
They were probably irrational or something.
But it did benefit them.
What do you mean? It benefited the people that engaged in it?
Well, no, as in like the people who were alive during the revolution were benefited by it due to the rise in like literacy, life expectancy, like drop in mortality, improvement in quality of healthcare.
Well, I don't know about any of that, but it seems like the conditions in Russia during that revolution were very different from the conditions now.
You're kind of quiet, Vic. I didn't hear that.
I said it. I don't really know about any of the history, but it seems like the conditions in Russia, wouldn't they be very different from what the conditions are now?
Yeah, that's probably true. That's why I'm I don't know what like the revolution would look like in like a first world country, for instance.
I mean, it just seems like if the workers tried to take over the state and take over the military, there would just be like an all-out war, right?
Well, you need the military on your side from the start. Like, if you don't have the military, like, you need to basically infiltrate and subvert the U.S. military before you can really do anything. At least if you're doing it.
But like even in the military, there's like a bourgeois capitalist distinction, right? Like the officers are taken to be the capitalist class, and then enlisted are taken to be bourgeois.
It's easier to turn military than it is the civilian population. That's for damn sure. Damn sure.
Well, how to say it? I don't know if you'd apply like the bourgeois proletarian distinction within the military, but I think you could definitely like say that different classes within the military exist such that some of them constitute like not workers, but at least like proletarian aligned factions and like bourgeois aligned factions.
I don't know. I thought Marx thought that the officers were bourgeois.
I don't know, because like I don't know how they would be, just in virtue of the fact that like they don't like buy labor or like engage in commodity production.
I don't know.
They control They control labor. I wouldn't say that they exchange it, but they certainly control it.
Is like war a commodity?
No. I'm talking about the potential labor that's in their subordinates.
Yeah. I don't think it's the case that like all labor like the delegation and control of labor constitutes the bourgeois proletarian relation, though, because like that's going to be like something that's just throughout human society, even under communism and like prior eras of human history as well, besides like I guess like primitive communism.
Luke is only interested in communism insofar as it means that he has an infinite line of attractive for him to interact with.
Pogan is correct. Also the violence. The violence is fun. I have to go off mic now.
Did y'all see the leaks for the next iPhone?
I'm not a commodity fetishist, so no.
Danny, did you get that PDF?
I did. It was a good signature.
Danny, I know that you recently just got a new iPhone. Are you considering getting the new iPhone?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't really have a good reason right now, other than the fact that it's new.
Wait, what's the new one?
There's like 3 little camera things on the other side of it, rather than 2.
Do you even know what that means?
No, but I mean it's got to be better.
Wait, are you getting the XS? Because that's not new.
No, I have the XS Max right now, which is I think the most expensive one. But they're releasing a new one with the 3 cameras on the other side of it. And then the one after that, they're going to get rid of the notch. And I think I heard rumors that they're going to do Face ID through the screen rather than through like a little something weird like that.
Did they put your face on the screen?
So this makes you want to buy another phone?
Well, I'm going to try to resist.
It just seems like if I don't know, if I found myself, I'd be like just disgusted with myself. I'm like,
wait.
I am disgusted with myself though.
Does resist there imply that you're coerced to get the new iPhone?
If I end up getting it, I think it would be a form of coercion.
Is it social coercion? Like, do you feel inadequate if you don't have the latest iPhone?
No, it's a perspectival coercion.
What the fuck did you just say?
You know, like before you go to a bar and you deliberate about whether you should drink or not, and you come to the conclusion that I shouldn't drink, I have work tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. But the moment you step in the bar, you look at the alcohol and you just decide to drink it anyway. I think that's a form of coercion.
He just means he has aphasia.
The sight of alcohol causally disposed you to drink.
No. That's not what
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He means something like he has weakness of the will.
I know what he means.
Is weakness of the will a form of coercion, though? It implies it, right?
Well, what you just described was weakness of the will.
Right, but I don't want to have weakness of the will.
Well, too bad.
Oh. I'm just a rock rolling down the hill, right, Tom?
Yes.
Well, then you wouldn't have weakness of the will.
You wouldn't have
Then you'd be omnipotent.
From now on, every time Jeff Keller speaks, I will demand he retract his claim. And then once he does, we can move on.
Or not.
I don't understand.
We've already moved on, Bogan.
Yeah, but I didn't get the closure I wanted.
It's your problem. So, Jeff, what do you think about the Matt Bell thing?
Yeah, pretty messed up. I never was a fan, but I didn't know his problems ran that deep.
What problems? He purchased the children's time.
Yeah, there's no issue with that under your view.
Uh-oh.
Really? And you think I'm ignorant about Marx?
Well, I think you're ignorant in general.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, good one. Burn.
I don't understand what the point of this like nervous laugh thing is, but if you just retract the claim, I'll leave you alone. It's not really hard to figure. I think by refusing to retract your claim, you're just being dishonest.
Noted.
How would your society deal with people like Matt Bell?
Who are you talking to?
They wouldn't be part of the society.
Harshly, hopefully.
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know. I don't feel like talking about it in that
Hey,
context.
okay, Jeff, just don't want to talk about anything. You just want to just...
I know you want to play gotcha with me today. I'm sorry to disappoint.
What is wrong with this guy?
Do you think when you point out a contradiction...
You just asked me what I thought about Matt Bell, and...
I didn't ask you that.
Somebody did.
I did.
I'm pointing out that it seems like anytime you're confronted with something that pertains to your system, right, you just assume people are attacked.
I was talking about Matt Bell, and you changed the subject to anarcho-capitalism after one comment. So,
well, you didn't want to talk about Matt Bell, right?
Rude. I kind of just like politeness and civility. That's
then
all.
Be honest.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay. Yeah, whatever. All right, I'm out. See you in 3 months.
Okay.
Take care.
But what explains that kind of behavior? Like, is he just doesn't want to be caught out or something?
He has PTSD from how Pogan treated him.
Jeff doesn't like to talk about how shitty his worldview is politically.
Well, it's not shitty. I mean, it's utopian, but I mean, it just doesn't work.
Right.
Vic.
Fuck.
I think he just doesn't want to be misrepresented, and he might have opinion that he was misrepresented here.
Oh, God.
That's it.
No, Gus was correct about Keller's history. I mean, this is the kind of guy who jumps on all the right grenades that makes him like the perfect, like the kind of libertarian that makes Americans not want to fucking vote for the Libertarian Party candidate.
Yeah, but he might still have the motive to leave the call, just like I said, because he felt misrepresented.
Welcome
I mean,
to the.
what you said might be true.
welcome
then
to the corporate amalgamation formerly known as America. Please be aware that healthcare for shooting victims is only available to gold subscribers.
Yeah, but my iPhones.
Yeah, but Pogan, who invented the iPhone? Was it America or was it the USSR?
You got me.
Bill Gates.
Communism debunked.
Although I think there is evidence to suggest that the USSR was responsible for significant advances in computing. Not that I would refer to the U.S. Go ahead.
I think Keller's position is that it's like 4-year-olds either are allowed to drive 2,500 trucks, you know, like big Chevy Silverado quad cab trucks, or we have the right to sell them. I think that's what we boiled it down to last time we spoke with him.
If it doesn't have consciousness, it's property.
Well, yeah, let's not even get started on what agents are to Jeff Keller.
You're an agent if you have a credit card.
Maybe he was a hobbyist about rights.
He said he would be back in 3 months, but he's still in the room. There we go. All right, mission accomplished.
I'll be honest, I didn't want you to chase him out of the room. He's so much fucking fun. I wish we could have gotten him on.
I shouldn't have
like
let.
just how batshit crazy.
I shouldn't have let Pogan.
You guys set me. Look, you set me up, right? You were like, okay, everybody be quiet. We're gonna have an LTV debate. What did you think was gonna happen? Have you heard me talk for longer than 5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty transparent about. I mean, Bogan was when he said, "Like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? This is what I do. I'm fucking Pogan."
Yeah,
You know?
if you bring Pogan in an LTV conversation, he's going to be hyper aggressive. If you don't want someone run off the server, they better A, be super capable of defending themselves, or B, you better not involve Pogan.
There are only two types of people that like stay after a conversation with me, right? The first category are people that are really good at, well, I mean, Claire said, right? Really good at defending their position, or they're more knowledgeable on the topic, or they get the better of me, right? The second are people that just don't give a fuck, right? He's neither of those. He was clearly bothered by the attack and his, of course, complete inability to answer any of my questions. But
I think Tom's metaphor was actually spot on. Pogan, you should be more like a cat playing with a ball of yarn.
what am I? If I'm not a cat, what am I right now? Like a?
Well, Tom said you were like a dog, just fucking vacuum cleaning bowl of food.
Yeah, there's dogs who just like can completely inhale all the food, so they make these special dog bowls that it's like got all these lines on it. It looks like the fucking maze from fucking Westworld, right? So the little pieces of food go in the little crevices, and they're just forced to slow down to eat their meal.
Good analogy.
So you have a problem. So you just engulf your meal, and then you have like digestion problems, and you just.
Skylar Fiction invited me to his show. Should I do it?
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
No
idea who that is.
It's an atheist trap. It's a trap.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, but
Danny, listen to me. Danny, listen to me. We've known Skylar for years. You should absolutely do it. As long as you're not an asshole, it's a totally great conversation to have. I promise you. As long as you're not a dick. The moment you become a dick, he becomes a dick. He only ever holds a mirror up to your behavior.
I wasn't a dick.
I mean, I don't know what you guys are worried about. I mean, Danny's gonna be able to hold his own. He's one of the best atheist debaters in the community. What are you worried about? Who's the theist you're going against, Danny?
No, I'm gonna be the theist.
Oh fuck, you're in trouble.
You're gonna be the
Oh.
theist?
So you're gonna dishonestly represent your new world?
Oh, so I didn't know it was a LARPer stream. Is it a LARPer stream?
Halfway through the conversation, Skylar just blurts out, "Yeah, I'm a pantheist, you know."
Yeah, it's gonna have a panel of Danny, the theist, LARPer,
Isn't anymore.
Derek from Nevada, right? Who else is gonna be there?
Skylar
Wait.
Fiction isn't a pantheist anymore.
Shut
But
up.
He used
he
to
is
be a
fair
deist.
interlocutor.
The joke was that
Danny,
he
I was
would be
joking.
role playing.
Rainy, you weren't
What's the
joking.
topic though? What's the topic?
I was joking.
Rainey should be on the panel. She's a real.
I don't know.
That's true. Rainy is arguably the best LARPer in the community.
Rainy, you want to be on a show with me?
Yeah, absolutely not.
What? Do I have to wear my niqab?
That's your question?
Yep. But I was joking, Danny, honestly.
Wait, what did you guys talk about last
Rainy,
time?
you don't have to wear your
joking.
niqab
I
if you
was
don't want to. You don't have to
joking.
wear anything.
You can talk about how a mauling by bears is a very gentle act, Danny.
fuck
That's what you can talk about.
I could wreck that.
Oh yeah, you want to wreck
conversation.
that? Sure, yeah, okay.
Just like I wrecked Skylar Fiction.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're going into it thinking that he was dishonest in that exchange, well, that's not the behavior that Michael was alluding to.
I do concede that I used the label dishonest a little too liberal.
I'll coach you through some theistic arguments, Danny.
Yeah, well, I need to brush up on them.
Yeah, I think Danny said that Pogan hands them out like candy, dishonesty pills.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else feel bad that our theist isn't really a theist? Like, can't we find a real theist?
Me?
Well, yeah, exactly. We should send
Danny and
Rainey.
I are okay now.
Rainy's kind of boring to talk to, though.
Danny and I are okay
Rainey's
now.
incredibly
That's not what you
boring
said
to
last
talk to.
time.
Fucking God, Rainy.
Sorry.
Danny and I are okay now, but there was an incident a few months ago where I flipped out on him and called him.
Called them
That
what?
was sad. Sad.
Dishonest.
Don't worry, Tom's done the same. In fact, he's done it much more than you have.
Well, let's ask this question. Do you like me more than Tom at this present? That's redundant.
Oh, that's hard to ask, hard to say.
No. Answer the question.
I mean, Tom's been misbehaving.
Answer the question, sir.
Tom was surprised that you didn't think I was intelligent the other night. I was.
Well,
really
let's
shocked.
look. You don't have to answer that question. Let's ask a new one. Would you rather have a philosophical discussion with me or Tom?
Probably you, because Tom would just like cancel it like in the middle of the conversation.
Not looking good for Tom right now.
Tom's really having some state changes in terms of his.
I make Tom really mad.
social-
What about just like a conversation on?
Danny, do you think that's a sexual frustration?
Okay, Claire. Thanks. All right.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
Teehee.
That's how you know Tom is a little.
Oh, dude, we got a
upset.
super chat. Oh, let's see, what is this?
That
it's
sounded
Prime
like
Monkey.
it might be a yes.
Let me see.
Capitalism keeps underage workers employed overseas, and Skylar is a pup.
Can we just hear Danny and Claire talk?
What about?
Can we hear Rainey renounce her faith?
Skylar is a puppy. Huh.
Danny and I had a good talk the other night where we evaluated how ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
Danny
exactly
doesn't
what-
care. Danny doesn't care if little children are in sweatshops
I
making
actually
us
don't have-
Nikes and
I don't have a
iPhones. As
big
long as he
problem
gets
with child
that new
labor.
iPhone with the third camera, which he doesn't even know what it does.
There's a third camera? What does it do?
We'll find out.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Buy now, ask questions later.
You know what it does, Danny? It photographs the inside of your wallet, and when it's full, they come out with a new version of the camera.
What's wrong with sweatshops?
What's wrong with sweatshops?
They're sweaty.
You ever worked in one, Rainey?
No, but I was trying. No.
Well,
Some Muslims think child labor's acceptable.
They're sweaty. I mean, it's right in
I
the
would
name.
put my kid to work.
well, if you can marry him, why can't you put him to
Look,
work?
a sweatshop doesn't.
I own like this high-end Coach purse that was hand sewn by children forced into child labor, like that who have to work in dim lighting and they go blind at an early age because of it.
Oh wait. Okay, so is it just primarily children working there?
A
Or is it-
sweatshop doesn't just mean like a kid with a job, right? Like
It means a kid that's grievously
look,
underpaid and terrible
a
conditions.
kid who goes after school and like puts in a couple hours, a week at GameStop isn't working in a sweatshop. Is
So is it just child labor?
No.
That's what I just explained to you.
It's not just child labor. Is it child labor?
Then
Look,
what is it?
a sweatshop is an institution in which not only are children employed, but they're
Actually, it doesn't have to be children.
They're very well.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
sure.
my question.
People are just egregiously extorted for their labor and given like a pittance for their time. You know, making Nike shoes all day.
Close quarters, awful working conditions, uncomfortable working conditions, like very much so underpaid, like no breaks.
High probability of injury.
High probability of injury, repetitive tasks.
Okay. My question is, how much would I have to pay them for it to be under that label?
Like maybe
if
$1
I
a
paid
day or
them, if I paid them, how much is too little, basically?
Or are you trying to ask if there's like a fact of the matter as to like what number is like makes
Yeah.
it? No, dummy.
What?
It's highly subjective to their living circumstances and like the value of currency in their country and all kinds of bullshit.
Right.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there should be a cutoff point where you say,
These
well,
employers,
this is
right?
this is no longer an abuse. He's getting a
Well,
fair-
yeah, I mean, if they were being paid $1,000 an hour, like no one's gonna say they're working. I mean,
No. Well, if I pay them less than what I would pay someone here, is that still the same issue?
Oh my God, this is not complicated.
Listen, I just explained it to you. It depends on the value of money in their living environment and things like that. So if you pay them what is equivalent to a substantially smaller portion than what you would pay someone here for the same task in a work environment where there's no safety guarantee and there's generally no kind of welfare safety nets, that would be a sweatshop. All right. The term sweatshop comes from like factories with no ventilation or windows that are like 110 degrees or whatever inside, where people are being paid almost nothing to make clothing and things like that, where they can literally die of heat stroke and they'll just be like thrown out as trash. That's where the term sweatshop comes from.
I thought you guys were talking about Matt Bell paying those little kids.
That would be a sweatshop. Getting raped for whatever
So-
fraction of 93 pence, that would be a sweatshop.
I mean, Rainey,
So if he was paying them more, it'd be all right.
I described to you a bundle of traits, and then you reacted as if like only the wage was what made it a sweatshop. What's wrong with you?
No, I didn't understand you,
It's
but
Rainy.
I understand what Claire said. So.
Why did you delete my
Okay.
message, Tom?
Tom, Rainey reminds me of Mina. Do you remember trying to explain things like that to me?
Yeah.
Guys, there's no
Well, but
need
wait,
to mock
but wait.
me, okay? I
Yeah,
didn't
Rainey
understand.
does
No,
kind of
like
remind me of Mina.
Mina was a likable person. She just had like the same kind of
Right.
deficiency that
Listen,
you have.
But if you
Listen,
raise the wage sufficiently, then it's no longer a sweatshop.
Right, because you're compensating them for the risk or discomfort.
Wait, but let's
Right.
just let's expand that to your example. If children are being sexually abused, but
what?
there's enough money involved,
Yeah.
is it no longer a sweatshop anymore?
Listen, if I was getting diddled and I was making $10,000 per diddle, I would consider that a fair exchange as a kid. I'd
Then
be
wait,
like, all
but
right.
then you're not being abused
How's this
because
even
it's consensual.
funny?
Well, that's
This is
right, and
not
that's why it's not a
funny.
sweatshop.
Yeah. That's not. Yeah.
What?
I think that's a perfectly reasonable question to ask. I don't know why people are moralizing.
Man, we
Yeah,
we
I
go
think
live and
that's
it's
an
just like
interesting objection.
It's just like
That's
what,
gross.
Pogan?
I already said. Did you not hear me?
Yeah, you just said it's just like. Was that what you were referring to?
It's just like a very sudden and jarring change in what is allowed. Is all.
What he means is it's just like Seamus's sex sounds.
Just think about.
Just think about. I
can coerce.
Yuri.
I can coerce.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you
what's
know.
up, Tom?
Yeah. You know how you were supposed to get in contact with G-Man?
Oh fuck.
Yeah, what's going on, man? I got in contact with. What do you?
You
Yeah,
got in
what's up?
contact? Oh yeah. What did he say, Yuri?
Oh, he hasn't responded back.
Oh, so you.
So you didn't get in
You
contact.
didn't really
with
get
him.
in contact with him, did you?
Attempted to get in contact with him,
Well,
but I think that's not
you're
his
just
fault.
equivocating.
He can't
You're
control
just
that.
equivocating in what we mean by getting.
Tom, actually.
Hold on a
actually,
sec. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Guys, hang on. Yuri, if I just go outside and I just yell Obama, right, and he doesn't answer, did I get in contact with him?
Tom, Yuri messaged me earlier before I added you to the G-Man group where you got in contact with him and asked me to get in contact with G-Man. So actually and that's when my idea first arose. So
Oh, that changes things.
So he delegated effectively.
Yes,
So
so
he did
Yuri
get in
was
contact.
actually, he played a prominent role in the causal chain to get into contact with G-Man.
God, Johnny. Look at chat. Oh my god.
Yeah, Tom, you were trying to pull something on me, man.
Look, dude, you said you didn't answer, man. You said you got in contact with him. Look, it's happening tomorrow. Me
Excellent. Yeah.
and G-Man. One-on-one.
Oh, this should be disgusting.
He says
Wait, is he just gonna be? Is he gonna be like?
He's got grievances with the Matt Bell thing. I don't even remember what he said. He said something about like, if we think Matt Bell did something wrong, then something about Lake of Fire. I couldn't even follow it. It was so retarded. And then he said something about like the Darth Dawkins videos or something like that. So he wants to air grievances with me.
Okay. Is it going to be like a one-on-one hangout, or is it going to be like you're going to have people on the hangout?
Well, he especially made it clear that he doesn't want it to be dogpiled and he wants it to be a one-on-one. Now, after he has aired his grievances and we resolve whatever his problems are, then he says other people can join.
I would love to join and meet G-Man.
Well, that's fucking kind of him.
Can I meet G-Man, Tom?
You want to meet G-Man?
Yeah, not to like. I'm not going to debate him because he's a fucking retard in my debate.
Hey, come on, man.
Red light.
Man, look.
Sorry.
Look, not going to debate him because he's developmentally challenged.
Look. He answers YouTube messages. Yuri, you can come into the hangout and talk with G-Man, but you must have a rap prepared, a diss rap.
Jesus. Fuck. Okay, I'm actually not a bad. I'm a pretty good lyricist. I'm just not a good.
Don't make
singer.
the claim. Don't make the claim. Don't say you're not a bad rapper, because then you're gonna.
Then you have to
I
defend
never said
that.
I said I'm a good lyricist, not a good rapper. So I could like write a good.
Give me a
like,
bar.
Post something you written.
Give me an original bar, Yuri.
Hold on, let me think. It's not like something you can come up on the spot. I'm not the quickest guy.
It is if you're a rapper.
Wait, how do you know?
I'm
You're
not a
Well,
rapper,
no,
though.
not
I
all,
wasn't
not
a
all,
rapper.
wrote any lyrics?
not all rappers do
I already said I wasn't a rapper.
freestyle. So that wouldn't necessarily exclude him from being.
Rap isn't even my favorite type of music. I actually really don't even listen to rap. I'm more of a metal guy.
Have you ever written any good lyrics?
Wait, but metal lyrics are generally
Wait.
speaking very vapid.
Can we get a sample?
They don't have to be.
Yuri?
Of what?
Of your lyrics?
My rapping?
You're rapping, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And if it starts off with, my name is Yuri, and I'm here to say, you're donezo. You're done.
Oh, no, that's cringe. Oh, man, we're live. I'm not doing... Oh, no, this is
Why does
so...
it matter if we're live? Look, you're gonna have to do it live tomorrow anyway.
Right, true.
This is just a lower stress iteration. It's like a cutting your teeth experience.
Wait, what are you
here.
gonna say to G-Man then?
Yuri, hurry
No,
up.
tonight I will write down actual lyrics, right, with a thesaurus, and like come up with good shit, like Eminem, with hooks and stuff.
Like
but, like, on the spot.
Setting the bar low.
You're gonna do the hook too?
Yeah, I'm gonna do hooks. I'm gonna do all them types of stuff. Yeah.
Oh god.
Wait, is there
I
gonna
have
be a
faith
beat
in
played
Yuri.
in the back too? Because I have no idea.
Yo, what up? My name is Yuri. Gonna spit fast because I am in a hurry.
Yeah, my rhymes are flavorful, just like curry or something like.
That's
just
God,
come in and make
so
us some
bad.
So many thoughts.
No, that's
Call my brain slur.
Don't let these fucking cucks tell you that you're not able to drop bars, Yuri. You understand me? I want to hear the bomb shit.
I'm
I wanna
dropping
hear your
bars
best.
just like bitches drive cars.
What?
What? How's that a diss on him?
Oh,
Don't let these guys do this to you, Yuri. Fuck
I
these
thought,
guys.
I thought this was just a practice, not a.
Look,
not
Yuri,
a
I have full
man.
faith in you.
He
These
claims
people
to
are
be a
just being
Christian.
dicks.
Oh no, I got this,
Fuck with
Kogan.
me, I'll give you an intellectual fit.
Did you
Well,
know
I
that
got this.
G-Man
No.
is very motivated to like engage in these prolonged rap battles? You know, I mean, this could become a thing with you and him, where
Right.
I mean, it could be
G
very.
man, or should I call him Seaman?
That doesn't even rhyme.
Did you hear my intellectual fisting line? That worked. I'm giving you gold here, Yuri. Come on.
G-Man claims to be a Christian, but he's nothing but a. Hold on, yeah, that's not cool.
It's a work in progress. We don't need to
Wait,
hear
can I
it.
come back in like 10 minutes and then just
Yeah.
bust?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll be right.
G-Man thinks he's cool because he's black. Here's the reality. He's just
Black.
He's just what?
whack.
He's just whack.
Yeah.
You guys are awful.
So let's not put Pogan up on this either.
I haven't talked to G-Man in a long time. G-Man was the reason that I got on to Hangouts, so I could talk to G-Man.
Was it the face thingy,
I
Tom?
had seen G-Man in a lot of videos, and I was before I finally met him on Hangouts, and I was starstruck.
Yeah, so was I. Starstruck, and then G-Man just kind of faded. And now, even when he goes live now, he's only got like 20 viewers, maybe. It's like Brett Keane is just basically faded into obscurity, even though they were all like some of the most popular. Like he was like one of the most famous theists on YouTube.
Yeah, and it's 20 viewers and 19 of them are.
Yeah, like the viewers are like Dragnot and True Empiricism, just the same people. Dude, I want to talk to him about all that Shanny stuff and Matt Bell.
Tom, remember True Empiricism released that video that was like siding with Steve over the non sequitur shit? Right? It was funny because right before that happened, I have a short clip of it on my channel. G-Man has been responding to your video of that recording you somehow got from Steve McRae.
Yeah.
Talking shit about Steve McRae. I was like, how did Tom Rabbit even get this? Who leaked it? Did Steve leak it or something? And then, like, the next day, True Empiricism agreed with Steve, and now G-Man agrees with Steve.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he's been talking about me a lot, makes a lot of comments in my videos. It seemed like at one point he was congratulating me because his comment said something like, "It's good to see that you also will criticize atheists and not just theists." And he's like, he commended me for that. But now it seems like he's got a problem with us saying that Matt Bell is mean because he aided in the rape of children or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know what his angle is now. And he's got some. He was saying something about the Darth Dawkins thing, and he's saying like he's like, there's some influential people that are like making videos and portraying some of the Christians as like in a certain way. But I mean, I don't like edit it to make him say stuff he doesn't say. I don't know what he's talking about. We'll have to see.
I want to like mock Dragna with G-Man too, though, and then like get G-Man, or I mean get Dragnut, like start drama with Dragnut and get him making streams about it and shit, you know.
I just don't know how much content can really be extracted from G-Man. I don't know. Try Monkey says, debate G-Man on the toilet while you force yourself to have diarrhea. Danny, any diet advice to make that happen?
Just eat fruit roll-ups the entire day.
Okay, just eat exclusively fruit roll-ups. Okay, gotcha.
G-Man, what up? It's me, Tom Rabb. Kicking your ass. It's become a habit.
Oh, shit. But it's going to be the first time.
If there's diarrhea, you should eat Haribo.
I can't hear you. Yeah, hey, robot. Yeah, it's just a robot.
G-Man, he had some rap on his channel. It was like, atheism is contagious like the flu. Atheists are irrational animals that need to be kept in the zoo.
I think we heard that earlier.
Did you guys hear atheist owned? Can someone play that again? It's just so cringe.
I'm on it, Chief.
Atheist.
Yeah, if nobody's familiar with G-Man's original raps,
nobody cares.
You don't know what you're working.
Oh shit.
This is a Line Prime Beat production.
Hello everybody, I'm not feeling kinda sour. I'm still owning these atheists, I'm preaching to the choir. By making the arguments look foolish with God's word. While all these so-called free thinkers feed you a bunch of turds. The scientific theories made up in Darwin's head are all these atheists dream while they're lying in their bed. All the atheists are sitting, watching with a face of stone. We Christians have two words to say, and that's atheist owned. So Christians are crazy for believing in God, while Dawkins and Hawkins are doing Satan's job. Redline and Live Life work for Beelzebub, while Robin Dupree just wants to have his son. Strong atheists say there's no such thing as God. Redline's a goofball, just putting up a big facade. Redline, don't cry, just get used to it, kid. You're gonna keep getting owned by this evangelist. All atheists are sitting, watching, feeling all alone. We Christians have two words to say, and that's atheist owned. Atheists say we have the burden of proof. I just say that's a bunch of number two. So Bionic Dance, stop running from a fight. Matthew 4:19, he actually has it right. Until someone can prove that God is not real, atheists like Redline tell me how torment feels. Atheists, take this advice for the rest of your days. Read your Bible and do what it says. Atheists own.
That is just amazing.
I love it. The hook is actually kind of catchy.
I like that almost none of it rhymes.
the burden of proof, but that's just a mode of number 2.
Does proof in 2 rhyme?
No, almost none of it rhymed at all.
Well, some people would say that that rhymes. The worst part is that the meter is fucked.
Yeah, it's completely off.
I don't think there's a single element in that that would be considered.
That's the worst part.
There's nothing worse than him blowing into the mic the entire time.
Yeah, that's horrible.
G-Man is a creature. I mean, he really is. He, like, we talk about unicorns in the community. Like, there will ever only be one G-Man. The guy just has a knack for just making himself look stupid. And what would be great, what I would actually love to see is that, like, one day him come out and be like cogent and then just say that he was trolling the whole time. Like, I would love to fucking see that.
Oh, there's a video of that. I think he was trolling in the video when he said he was
Chocolate
trolling.
atheist? Yeah, when
Wait,
he came
is
out
it
as
when
the
he
chocolate
says-
atheist.
Oh no, wait. Maybe he didn't say he was trolling, but he said he's come to believe that there's evidence for macroevolution or something. He accepts it.
Yeah, did he say he was trolling? He said he was trying to
Looking-
debunk the no true Scotsman fallacy.
Looking like a snack there.
You hungry, Claire?
Could be.
Eat this dick.
See, that's what's wrong with
I
black
guess I
people.
never really.
They just
I
can't
guess-
flirt. They just don't understand the.
I guess I never really noticed how handsome Zax is until Claire just pointed it out. You're a good-looking feller.
Thank you, but you actually said I was cute like a couple months ago, so it's fine.
Yeah, but I was talking shit. I didn't really like notice.
That's why he's my
like I
future
said until now.
ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, you don't look anything like a lesbian, Zax.
I appreciate that. I worked real hard. I'm not looking like a lesbian.
You do look very fit, like you're well in shape, man.
I try.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael's just having a bromance over here.
I'll take Michael's bromance all day.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time. No, I'm just referring to how obvious it is. Like, I never really look at his face. I swear to God, like, you know, because he posts pictures where he's just like flexing and shit, and just instinctively I look at his muscles because he used to be a bodybuilder. But I never really like looked at his face. He's a good looking feller.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, you're welcome. That's kind of creepy.
No, I was thinking my dad.
You gotta say it like this. Thank you,
My
Daddy.
genetics.
Just like that. Thank you, Daddy.
Jeff Keller is the reason why I've always said that we need to get more libertarians in here. They're just so much fun. They believe in the wildest shit.
It's the police presented by
True.
Home Depot. Don't freeze unless you want to.
We had more of them in Krillism, but then they just disappeared.
I'll be back in like 10 minutes. I gotta get my eyebrows.
Pixar, it didn't happen, Claire.
Yeah, when I'm done.
Of course.
I got you.
I
you guys.
wonder
Just on
why
there.
we. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Michael. I'm just saying I'm back. I got the rhymes that everyone was.
Drop the.
All I was gonna say was that the reason why we ran dry of libertarians and Krillism is because they're fucking stupid, and this isn't the environment for fucking stupid people. Fucking stupid people don't last in here. Sorry, you go.
Sure about?
I want to hear your bars, bud.
Yeah.
Wait, but that doesn't look that. There's
Oh, okay.
evidence against that.
Pogo, what are you doing, man? Why are you over talking me? Tom, are you there? Tom, I want to make sure I'm not doing this in vain. Are you there, man?
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Okay, so these rhymes are just a rough draft.
Yeah,
if
go
I have
ahead,
more time. Yeah, but these are just something I came up with real quick. So You say, hold on. Can someone like give like a slow like rap beat? Anyone? No, never mind.
Yeah, let's do this No. We're gonna do this. No, we're gonna do this proper. Somebody lay him down some like Jay Dilla, some really foundational shit.
I just need it slow. I need it slow and kind of West Coast type, like really thug.
Try Monkey says Michael J. Fox could produce better rhymes on an Etch-a-Sketch. Now he's talking about G-Man, so
right.
You need a beat, Yuri?
Yo, yeah. Let me find a beat for him. I'm gonna give him some. I'm gonna give him. No. It's not gonna be any beat. It's gonna be slow Jay Dilla, and it's gonna be good, and you're gonna blow this shit up. Give me 1 second.
Is this it? Wait, is this it?
Oh,
yeah, this is a beat.
Oh.
Say you're a Christian, but that's the question. Your rhymes are so bad they give you bad afflictions. Your mental masturbation is what I'll be dissing. I can't listen anymore to your rhyme. They called me the egg, just like I'm about to do to your stupid ass face.
Who the fuck chose this? I mean, can anybody else hear him? Like, who the fuck?
Oh my god.
Dude, he was doing good, actually. It was...
Yuri was good.
Yeah,
Yuri.
Fucking awful.
This fucking beat is stupid. Oh my god.
Well, you're playing the beats. I can't see because I'm
Pogan, you fucker. Look, I'm gonna get him a Jay Dilla beat. I'll be back.
Yeah. What were you?
Wait,
Yeah,
that was
that actually wasn't too bad. That actually was pretty good.
That's
the way
fucking
it sounded.
terrible. What are you talking about?
That was the worst beat.
That was number one. That was way too fast, dude. Like, way
yeah, but
too
wouldn't you
fast
guys
for
have
that shit.
expected it to be worse than it was? Like, he's better than John and them.
No, he's way better. I don't care. I was just talking shit on Pogan's fucking beat choice. I'll be right.
Yeah, Pogan.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Yuri's rap.
Michael, I literally typed into the YouTube search bar obnoxious rap beat.
That was so
mission fucking accomplished.
I guess.
We can't get any laughs though because I gotta actually like focus because these lyrics are kind of funny and I don't want to like start
You
laughing.
could not fucking keep up with that.
Wait,
man.
how much of it? How much like what we heard? Like what percent of that was what?
Oh, that was only, that was like 1%.
Oh, really?
Like a whole,
what
like,
the? How did you write that much? That's ridiculous.
I hold a paragraph and a half. I just came up with a stream of consciousness and just like wrote down.
Paragraph and a half? What the? You were gone for like 3 minutes.
Dude, you're a virtuoso.
Guys, let's not be racist, okay?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Is Michael picking the actual beat?
Come on, Michael. Where's the beat at, man?
Yeah, I got a beat, but like it's not aggressive. It's like super slow. Like you're gonna have to start like after the fucking piano. You wanted a slow beat and some really foundational shit.
Yeah, like a Biggie Smalls type beat or something like that. That's fine.
Dude, I'm gonna use this.
Now you just blew my shit up, man.
I'm gonna use this for my opener. He's gonna be on the back foot the entire time.
You know what, Yuri? I'm not even gonna fuck with it. Somebody else pick the beat because I'm gonna give you something, and you're gonna be like,
Just have Yuri rap over Gangster's Paradise so you can use Sonic in the thumbnail.
Been standing most our lives filling in for G-Man's paradise.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it.
It has to be royalty free because we're streaming.
Look, that's all.
That's
all
right. I didn't
That's
even
all.
think about
No, it's already done. Trust me. Because we played G-Man song, and that's probably a beat from somewhere. It's fine.
No, but he was rapping over it.
No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because
depends on the cut.
all John's raps, which he just takes the beats, are automatically copyrighted. Every single one of them, instantly.
I think this is a good opportunity to give
Nevin,
Tom
Mac
my
11. I eat her
resume
dildo.
for-
I'm such a weird. There you go. Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Fucking asshole.
We also need you to like be more articulate on the mic, because it's like I can't, even if you just took away the really obnoxious repeating words. It fucking like Jesus.
Come on,
Even
guys.
if you took that away, it was like awful, dude. We couldn't understand you, and you were going in so hard, dude. I could just imagine you like putting your fucking shirt, the bottom of your shirt up over the back of your neck, and like jumping around in your room, like waving your fucking hands in the air, like yelling into the mic, right? Or like twirling a white T-shirt. You know, like I was imagining that whenever that was happened. I bet the lyrics are great though. You were just like emotionally invested.
The funniest part of that was when Michael said, "Okay, guys, let's not be racist."
Come on, guys. We need a beat, man. Come on, guys. Just type in good rap beats on YouTube and just like pick. Come on.
Fuck. All right. I was gonna give you J Dilla's running. I mean, everybody rhymes to running, but
yeah, then just paste it and let's go.
Fuck.
All right, try this one.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a Terminator movie. Oh, this may be too slow, but I'll work with it. It's fine.
Just pace yourself.
Say you're a Christian, but that's the question. Your rhymes are so bad they give bad afflictions. Your mental masturbation is what I'll be dissing. Oh, I missed it. That was the part where I was supposed to get back at it again.
Wait, that was actually decent. Just restart the.
Yeah, just restart it. Can you restart it again? Because I missed that part. I was trying to wait for the beat, but I didn't know how the beat was. But I know how to. Oh, okay. Just come on, restart it. Just restart it, guys.
You can restart at any moment.
No, I'm saying restart the beat. I missed the part where I'm supposed to drop the next bar.
Right.
Redo it.
I think the bot's too loud.
Anyone can adjust the volume.
Put together
Yeah. Oh. You say you're wait, that's one. You say, oh, you say you're a Christian, but that's the question. Your rhymes so bad they give bad affliction. Your mental masturbation is what I'll be dissing. I can't listen to your rhymes. They cause me the ache, just like I'm about to do to your stupid ass face. You can't diss me because all you do is chase. I'm going to make you curse Jesus to his face. Now come down with me, little Judas. I'll make your mind break with my facts and dribble. Don't pull up on me just like you have been shot, because when I pull out my book, I write and jot. Now listen, little bigot, let me drop some truth. Your rhymes are worse than your mom's tiramisu. Not only do the atheists laugh and chuckle, but if your God existed, he would kick you and laugh to the rubble. Your rhymes... Next one, sorry. I went too far. Your rhymes are just depravity. Oops, there goes gravity. Oh, he's so mad at me because making noise. I'm changing your story from going to heaven to hell. Your rhymes make you look like you worship. Oh! Okay, that's it. You can turn it off now.
The fucking Baal worshiper.
Wow.
G-Man worships. Wow, dude, that was great.
Wow.
That was great.
That was pretty good, Yuri.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right,
I
let's
think
not be
bad
racist.
affliction.
Wow.
I think bad affliction should be indigestion. Though.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's better. Come on, guys. I have like 5 minutes. We're trying to break down stuff.
I haven't actually read them, but
Can I just ask what's going on?
Rap day.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's going on. What you just heard is going to be the tip of the spear against my attack against G-Man tomorrow. Do you understand that, Rainey?
No.
What's not to understand?
who the fuck is laughing like
I
that?
hardly understand anything that comes out of your mouth, so.
Oh fuck!
The fuck?
Tom, what's you're gonna attack him?
No, well, I mean, it's gonna look. It sounds like we're gonna be doing battle. It sounds like a straight up old-fashioned airing of grievances.
Yeah, there's obvious conflict.
Yeah.
I feel there is some sexual innuendo.
Look, he's calling me out, right?
Yeah, but don't you think what would be the most funny is if like you just remain calm and emotionless the whole time and be like, look, I wasn't even saying he was a bad guy in my videos. My videos were just like citing news articles and stuff. What's the problem?
I mean, I don't know what he even is gonna say, really. So
No matter what happens, it's going to be hilarious.
you can have a disclaimer that the opinions expressed by Yuri's rap do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Tom.
right, yeah, but there's also the concern that Yuri's rap might hit too hard. And if I open with that, it'll really just it'll set the stage for a level of aggression that is never gonna subside.
I tripped over myself though. I'm
I
sorry
mean,
about that, guys.
he's calling him like worshiping the devil and stuff like that about his rhymes. I mean, that's you can't recover from that shit.
Wait, I have to go. I haven't fucking watched the video yet of G-Man talking about you. Can somebody link it? I'm gonna watch it right now.
Okay. Let's see what
Or is it just on his channel? I can find it. Is it just on his channel?
Wait, are you looking for G-Man's rap, Scholars?
No, I'm looking for G-Man made a video calling out Tom.
There's like on his channel there's a video where he's talking about Matt Bell. And if you go to that video and then you type transcript and you just put in the word Tom, you'll see he refers to me several times, and every time you can just click on the word Tom and it'll take you exactly to where that is in the video.
Oh, okay.
So, I think this is as good an opportunity as any to give Tom my resume for Noise Troll Warrior. I'm on quite a bit, Tom, and I think I can handle people
Absolutely
that.
not. No, never. Out of the question.
Why not?
Hogan, you blow into your mic almost as words as G-Man in that rap.
That's what the Pogan sounds like.
That's exactly. See, was that
The
you?
only problem.
Yuri?
Yeah, that was me, man.
Wait, but that's not. Look, that's not
becoming
noise
a
trolling.
director.
Look, that's not noise trolling. That's just the mic being too close to my mouth.
You're supposed to breathe. Yeah, you're supposed to move away from the mic to breathe in.
Like Tazon Day.
Right.
Yeah, how we are supposed to tell the difference?
What? Tell the difference in what?
I think noise trolling requires an intention.
Look. Anything? Any tips for the debate? I mean, like, how should I handle myself?
Wait, what? You're debating? Catch me up, Tom.
Tomorrow I'm going to be. I've been called out by G-Man.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Tom, you know that?
Say that
Did
you
you
can't
know?
say.
Did you know that I debated him like 3 years ago?
Yeah, of course. I remember. I was there. It was.
I had a
It was.
PowerPoint.
Okay, hold on a sec. If I remember, he like didn't prepare like at all. There was like zero preparation. He made it a like complete farce of a debate. It was like a total waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was there.
What is
What was
it?
the topic?
He was like, it was just, does God exist?
No.
Like, it was 20-minute openings, and he gave a 5-minute opening. And he kicked me from the Q&A at the end.
I totally remember.
Kicked me from my own debate with him.
He was so butthurt that he called off the debate and made it into a regular layout.
Oh, Joe, were you here for my rap, man?
No, it wasn't. I just
Oh man, you missed it. Should we do it again, for Joe?
But Joe, I've been called out. Something he takes issue with some of the Matt Bell stuff. Like Godless is listening to it right now. Maybe she can. Maybe once she listens to it, she'll be able to remind me what his problem was. But cause I can't even follow it because it was so nonsensical. So it went something like.
I'm gonna get on my laptop in 10 minutes and do the text search because
I can find it. I can find it real quick then.
What's the format and like where is it gonna be? I mean,
No, we're just gonna go in a Google Hangout and just have an airing of grievances. That's all.
Okay, like I was just saying, like I said, he kicked me from our own debate, so you should make sure he's not like the mod or something.
Oh, I made the Hangout. He's coming.
Oh,
to me.
good.
Wait,
Oh no.
Joe, are you suggesting the G-Man did not improve a period of 3 years in his debating skills? Oh, never mind.
Okay, so I'm reading the transcripts
actually-
here. So he says, I've heard Shanny, and they know you can't really trust somebody on the internet. I've listened to Tom Rabbit Man quite a few days now talk about Matt Bell, and some people in a comment section was saying that they should, give some of his videos when he talked about the topic to the police. Like that everybody's like into the condemnation thing now all of a sudden.
Is this why he
So
wanted
let
us?
me tell you what my take is as a Christian.
See, added me too.
What he did was wrong. Well, fuck, I'll just play this. Hang on a second. This is 4:41.
You're about to go.
On my camera. Focus here. Listen to Tom Rabbit. Matter of fact, quite a few days now. Talk about Matt Bell, and some people in the comment section were saying that they should, give some of his videos where he talked about the topic to the police. Like everybody's like into the condemnation thing now all of a sudden. So let me tell you what my take is as a Christian. Number one, what he did was wrong. I'll say this again: what he did was wrong, and Matt Bell is going to pay his debt to society when he's in jail. Hopefully when he's in jail, and this is the part where a lot of people ain't gonna like me. They're not gonna like me at all. Because at the end of the day, I have to remind you guys, I'm a Christian. At the end of the day, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. So I got a little bit of a different take on this. Okay? I'm hoping that while he's in jail, that he will consider his time here on YouTube. He will consider the horrible things that he was doing with, online with these children, and consider that and stop doing those things. Come out of jail a different person. Spend a lot of time in prayer. If he can get a Bible somewhere in one of the libraries, maybe get them, actually read them, and actually this time put it into practice. Now, that's what I hope for Matt Bell, but a meat grinder and all that other stuff and whatnot, we'll see.
At the end of the day, I'm
the final punishment. That's a punishment that never ends. And my challenge for those people like Tom Rabbit, Revelation News, Shanny for Christ, and the rest of the people who were so outraged at this obvious, blatant sin that he committed. Does he deserve the lake of fire? I say he does. And I'm very happy that Red believes this, Shanny believes this, and hopefully now Tom Rabbit, an atheist, believes that this man deserves to be thrown into an eternal lake of fire for committing sex sins. I think a lot of you should know where I'm going with this now, okay? Because if you believe that that sex sin is horrible, then all the other sex sins have to be horrible as well. See, I'm listening to all these different people try to use Matt Bell. Say, look, I told you those Christians were crazy. I told you those Christians were crazy. There's a pedophile in every community on YouTube. I can promise you that. If God would have opened your eyes up and let you look into a person's closet, I guarantee you, we're gonna find something in everybody's closet where they deserve to be tossed into the lake of fire. That's why the Bible says that your very conscience is going to be testify against you. But let me read something in the Bible here, because I thought this was very interesting when I was thinking about which.
There's 2 beeps.
It's 3 beeps.
Just Matt Bell.
3 beeps.
I should talk about the Darwin's deity situation and what Tom Rabbit has been putting on his channel about deity, but I'll save that for another day. I'll save that for another day because I'm going to have to bring the amazing atheist into this conversation in order to, to have a little bit of fun with that. Or I might do it on my anti-atheist podcast. I don't know.
Okay, so that's everything according to the transcript. I don't even understand. Do you guys even understand?
No, it's just a bunch of non sequiturs, man.
Well,
I think I know what he was trying to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
That like the thing to say. I think what he was trying to say was something like, because you think what Matt Bell has done is wrong, then like you must accept some kind of like objectivity with regard to morals and all this stuff,
No, I don't think you're saying that. I don't think you're saying that.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's definitely not what he was saying.
Well,
No, it
like
wasn't what he was saying. That's what he was trying to say.
So basically, I don't think he's that sophisticated. He was just saying only Christians really have access to being like to get condemning people.
I think he was trying to say that I'm being hypocritical if I condemn Matt Bell because like other people are doing like sex stuff too.
Sexin. It's the name of my porn series.
By the way, I mean I don't know if G-Man knows this, but I don't believe in a lake of fire, bro.
Yuri, what is it with you beep people, dude?
Oh yeah, we don't beep. I don't beep. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay.
Beep.
Yeah.
3 of them. Never heard that before.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like these people are like black people, man.
It is so over.
Whoa. That's uncalled for.
Wow.
That's racist.
You always just go a little bit too far, Yuri. You need to step back not every once in a while.
Joe. Jeez, Joe.
Manny,
Manny
is a triple beep. Manny is a triple beeper too with the do thing.
No, Manny?
Yeah, the incoming chat thing.
Oh well, that's no. You don't understand. It's a smoke detector. That's the issue. Manny just has annoying sounds coming from his computer.
What do you think his problem is with the Darwin's deity stuff?
Dart Dawkins doesn't like G-Man. They've gone at it. I don't think he likes him either. But he mentioned, I thought you would be excited about this. He mentioned the Amazing Atheist.
Oh, Tom, imagine if you got in contact with the Amazing Atheist. Your channel would blow up, man.
He said he might have to bring.
Yeah, he doesn't have that kind of power. Like the Amazing Atheist doesn't care about G-Man.
They always have him on for the lulz, don't they? Or at least years ago they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, years
I'm out of
ago.
touch.
Is there anything new?
Oh yeah, forgot. When I talk, JJ has to fucking talk.
That's not true.
Oh fuck.
Fuck yourself.
Ah, fuck.
Oh shit.
God damn it, JJ.
What were you gonna say, Joe?
Fuck my life seat. What were you
So
gonna
anyway,
say?
he brought up the Amazing Atheist. I'm not aware of him doing anything recently at all. Is G-Man saying he needs to bring up old shit?
I don't know. Why don't you go have a fucking conversation with yourself, JJ?
Why don't you speak up, Joe?
I'm playing Overwatch.
I want to hear what JJ has to say because he's the voice of.
Joe,
BB, are
what
you
were
there?
you gonna say?
Oh wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Darth Dawkins lost his privileges?
He sure did.
What the fuck? Why didn't you guys tell me?
Wait, when did this happen?
Very recently.
Holy
Like how recently? Like
shit.
just now or what?
Yes. Like, well, yes.
Okay, he's in
Oh.
philosophy right now.
Oh, okay, we gotta listen. Let's go, boys.
Can we stream it or can we not?
What
All right,
server
I'm
is
going.
that? What server is
He's
it?
in the politics philosophy room.
Blue politics.
Is necessarily false.
It's not possible to do so, but you cannot.
Okay,
do the
now,
same thing
okay,
as
now,
Wait,
now,
just tell him
now
that
you
God is
understand.
incoherent. Just tell him that the concept is
Go ahead.
incoherent.
It's not going to help you.
Okay. Yes, it will. It is not
No, it won't.
possible for me to falsify Christianity, but it is not possible for you to falsify Islam or the flying spaghetti monster or Santa Claus.
You're changing the subject. Okay, now, since you have just stated that it is impossible for you to show Christianity is false, and in the case that Christianity is true, so you do not know that Christianity is false. And if it is the case that Christianity is true, then my most foundational mental states are not assumptive. Now, well, just so we're clear, okay, do you understand that in the Christian worldview, our most fundamental mental states are not assumptive? Do you understand that from the Christian worldview?
Can you falsify Islam?
Okay.
I
asked you a question. Do you need me to repeat it?
The answer is yes, but can you falsify Islam?
Okay. Okay. So you understand that Christianity, can I falsify Islam? Yes. Now, the question, I'll be glad to address that, but now you're moving the goalposts and trying to change the subject.
No.
Now, what I'm okay, please do not overtalk me. Now, I've been very polite to you. Okay. Now, since you have conceded that you cannot show that Christianity is false, then it may be the case that Christianity is true. Is that correct?
Insofar as that anything could be true, yes.
Okay. In the case that Christianity is true, if it is true, and you have not ruled that out, then your statements of universals are not necessarily true. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. In the case that Christianity may be true that you have just conceded to, and in the case that it is true, it would mean that your universal statements are false, right?
The problem is that you're talking, oh, this could be false or this could be
No, you're not. You didn't understand the question. Listen carefully. In order to answer, you have to focus because this question requires a slightly higher level of abstract reasoning. Now, in the case that Christianity is true, okay, in the case it is, and you haven't ruled that out, if Christianity is true, then because it is true, it would falsify your universal statements, would it not?
Sure.
Okay. Now, since you cannot rule out Christianity, that means that Christianity is still on the table of potentially being true. Therefore, your statements, your universal statements about foundational mental states are not necessarily true.
That's not correct.
Are your statements about foundational mental states necessarily true?
I know.
Are they necessarily true?
Hold on. Because you're asking me questions, but you're not letting me get a point. So I'm going to make a point. I'm going to answer.
No, I asked the question. Are your statements? I'm going to
question.
finish my question, whether you talk over me or not.
I told you.
Are
I'm
your
gonna answer
is your
question and then
assertion?
make a point.
Are your statements that are foundational mental states that if they are assumptive, is that necessarily true?
That everything's assumptive? Yes, it is necessarily true.
Gary. Okay, now
You can't
how do
just
you
say
know? Listen to
Hold
me.
on. I'm
How are you
I'm
able?
turning your user
What I
volume
want
down
you
to
to
0%.
know, I want to
Now,
know how you
the problem
declare
is you
good.
keep
I'm not
asking
that
me
he's
a
not going to
question,
get answered.
and then when I
This is what he
answer it,
does.
you
Moves the
instantly move on to
goalposts.
another question.
We'll wait till
So I
he's
am
done.
now going to make a point with your user volume at 0% because you will not let me give a point. Okay? Now I'm going to give my point. So everything in the universe is assumptive because everybody naturally has to rely on things like senses or logic, which are unreliable. So it is necessarily true unless you can show me an objective thing that can be objectively true. You would have to prove objectivity for me to be wrong. You don't have.
Okay. Is it your position that all human sense perception is unreliable?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know that?
How do I know that? Because it's possible that it's not. Okay. Do you agree that your senses are unreliable?
It doesn't matter what I think. You just stated that our sense perceptions are entirely unreliable. Okay.
Gave you an
So
answer.
what's clear is that your
But he
position
gave
that
you
our
an
sense
answer. He said
perceptions are
no.
unreliable.
He said no.
He did not say entirely unreliable.
Okay, now, can you tell me by what means you ascertained that everybody's sense perceptions are entirely unreliable? By what means?
Not what he said.
Because people will assume something to be true. And
No, I know, sir. I asked you by what
I'd like to hear him
means
finish,
did
please.
you determine that everybody's sense
me, but
perception
somebody
are
wanted me to
entirely
finish. Now, do not
unreliable?
interrupt me. Hold
Okay,
on.
I'm
Snowy,
waiting
can you
for an
finish your
answer.
point,
So
please?
you're looking.
Yes, I'm gonna finish my point now.
You're looking for somebody to save you, huh?
He
No,
didn't say they
nobody's trying to save
entirely
me. Somebody
unreliable.
wanted me to
What
finish.
I'd like to know is by what means are you able to ascertain everybody's sense perceptions are entirely unreliable? Can you answer that?
I'm not going to answer your question until I am
Right.
finishing my point.
I hate to, but can we do this in your room, Darth? Just for the
No,
sake of clarity.
I am going to.
No. We're gonna move rooms because that's
I'm
what
not
it's there for. Well, if you want to, this is what the room is there for.
Well,
because
there's no need for this to be moved because this is a
Okay.
philosophy room and we're discussing philosophy.
I second the motion.
Just so you know, I'm getting PMs of people asking to be unmuted or modbot mails messages for people to be unmuted in this chat, and so a mod will look in this chat and unmute them if you do mute them. So this is
I didn't mute anybody nor can
all right.
He doesn't have his privileges.
Okay.
All right, no worries.
Now, okay, so is this clown still here?
Well, I would like to finish my point now.
Stop being
because
insulting and let him finish his
my question is still outstanding, and unless you address the question, I will ignore what you say and repeat my question.
Okay, that's a very dishonest way of talking.
Go ahead,
but okay.
Snowy. I would like to hear your point, Snowy. Please go ahead.
Okay, so
Gary.
First, this has to go into a little bit of science. So, for one, our eyes are not perfect. They actually not work at 100% efficiency. So time has to slow down by a certain amount of percentages.
And did you determine that by your eyes?
No.
Stop over talking, Darth.
Yeah, do not overtalk, Darth.
Did you use your sense perception?
Stop over talking.
Stop over talking.
Stop over talking him. Go ahead, Snowy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Our brains will fill in things like events, like even if a crime happened, most of the time eyewitness testimony is even unreliable in a crime. So these are all things.
And how would you know? How by
Stop
what means
over
could you know
talking.
eyewitness testimony?
You're being
is
extremely
Knock it
rude,
off,
Darth.
Darth.
How would you
Knock
know
it
that?
off.
You're
Stop
being
over
extremely rude, Darth.
Hey, stop over talking, Snowy.
Okay. How would you know that? If eyewitness testimony
Darth is
is
acting
unreliable,
like a
how would you know
crazed
that? By eyewitness
teenager.
testimony?
No.
Go ahead, Snowy.
By scientific research.
Okay. Would you have to know things in science by eyewitness testimony?
No.
Oh, then how would you know the conclusions to scientific endeavors without there being a witness?
Do I have to explain the basic idea of what an experiment is? Like, do
Well,
I have to
how can you do
experimentation is?
how can you do experiments when, according to you, our sense perceptions are entirely unreliable? Remember,
He
you
never said that,
That's the point.
dumbass.
No, he did not say
actually,
that.
I
You're
am saying
misrepresenting him.
Darth, you represented
guys,
his
stop,
claim
because
as
I
saying
actually
entirely.
I actually am saying that. I'm saying that we have to make a fundamental assumption. And one of the assumptions that I have to make is that my senses are reliable enough to use.
No,
but
but
still
you
remain
just
skeptical.
contradicted
That's
yourself
not
because a few
entirely
minutes ago you
unreliable.
said,
He
and you said
never
it
said
3
that.
times.
Yeah,
You said
Darth
first
to
of all,
clarify,
sanctions.
stop.
You're just being
Let me finish,
dishonest because
please.
you gotta.
You just said 3 minutes ago, 3
Let
times,
him
you said
finish.
our sense perceptions are entirely unreliable.
Not what he
You said it
said.
3
No,
times.
I didn't say entirely.
That's
I
not
said
what he
they're
said.
unreliable.
Well, all right,
That's
listen,
not what he
listen,
said at
listen,
all.
little boy, since you have such a faulty memory, I'm not going to waste my
Hey,
time.
old man, stop interrupting him.
This
Go run
50
away, Darth.
pointless
Run
talking
away,
to
Darth.
Why,
you
Old
why
man
is a
is still moving with
53-year-old
parent.
man
You
making
still
fun of
move with your
something?
mom?
Okay, Darth.
Run away, Darth.
Darth.
So we're
Hold on,
done.
please somebody
Now,
mute Darth, because all he's
now,
doing is
I'm
personal
trying to
attacks
have
and
my
insults.
I'm trying to have my
No, I'm
questions
going
answered,
to turn your
and
down
you
your
are
volume
moving
down
the
to
Yeah, I'm
goalposts.
gonna
1%
just
because
turn to
you're being very
1%.
So
Just
that's why
1%.
it's
Yeah,
utterly
Snowy,
No, I'm
just
turning you.
1%.
endeavor.
Oh, I did.
That
I
is
just
Don't
why
don't mute
that's
him.
why it's an
Don't mute
utterly
him.
fruitless
Turn him
endeavor
down to
talking at this
1%,
chat.
and
It's a
we would like
waste
to
of
hear
time.
you finish
Because
your
Darth is being
explanation.
it's a
extremely rude.
waste of time.
Yeah, but put it in
Because
an echo
So
chamber.
I'm going
because
to
when
finish
I
my
ask
point.
him to answer the
Hold
question,
on.
he
I'm going to
runs
finish
from
my
the
point now.
question. So
So
it's
I
a
did
waste of
say
time.
that our senses are somewhat.
And
Are,
isn't
Can
it
we
nice
have?
that we have no mods in here? This
And
problem
now he's
never
just
happens
going
in
to
my
repeat
room,
himself
ever.
over talking just to obstruct
Snowy,
the conversation,
Okay,
and he's gone.
Snowy, I can't hear Darth.
Typical
So could you
atheist.
just
He
could you
ran
just
away.
repeat what
He
you were
left.
gonna
He
say?
left.
okay, I will
Good.
continue. So our senses are unreliable to a point. You know, you have to look at it in terms of a percentage. So, you know, we can say this sense is unreliable X percent of the time, like say 1%, 0.1. So because of that, we have to assume that we can rely on that 99%. And therefore, everybody has to fundamentally rely on an assumption. Now, his assumption is that things like divine revelation can inspire him with the innate knowledge that God is real, and then he has to assume all the characteristics of God. Science is way more basic than that. We simply have to assume that A, we can rely on our senses a large percentage of the time, and B, we have to assume that we can predict reality, we can predict the universe. And
He doesn't think that revelation can inspire him future tense. He thinks it's inspired in past tense.
Okay, it's irrelevant. He still has to assume and interpret that, and
No,
then he has to assume and
he thinks
interpret the past.
He thinks that it's built in all humans.
Then he'd have to.
Yeah,
prove
what he's saying is that you're a liar. You're suppressing the truth and
Okay.
unrighteousness. He's calling you a liar. That's what he's doing.
Then he has to prove that every single human being in the world all has this innate knowledge, which is very challenging to do. And I doubt that he can do it with just philosophy and.
Well, no, it doesn't even mean that every human being on the planet has to have this innate knowledge. It's that knowledge itself is reliable on, or is has a dependency relationship with God.
Okay.
Right? That's the problem. That's the problem.
I mean, that's something where it's like, because God, it's not possible to disprove God. So if his fundamental assumption is God is
No,
real,
it absolutely is possible to disprove God. If there is something, okay, by pointing out an inherent contradiction in the concept of God. Does he take God to be omniscient and omnipotent? Well, then yes, then there's a contradiction there.
Okay.
God can't be an agent. He's reducible to a mechanism, kind of like a light switch.
Yeah.
He's not a person. He's not a being because he has no agency. Because
Well,
how would you be able to infer God's intention?
So then it's possible to falsify the Christian God. It's not really possible
Correct.
to falsify other forms of a God. You know,
Sure, you could believe in some sort of like anthropomorphized version, like a creator God wouldn't be a good example, but like a god like Thor or some shit like that, you know, has agency, right? But then you first have to prove that this God is capable of having agency. But Darth doesn't want to commit to losing omnipotence and omniscience, right?
I'm sorry.
And the reason.
I'm very
Go
sorry
ahead, that's
to
fine.
interrupt you. I just want to laugh my fucking ass off because Darth has just left and rage quit like a fucking 2-year-old. God, it feels really good to be able to use the tactics on him and make him realize how it feels.
Okay,
Fuck
wait a
that
second.
guy.
Wait a second.
What I still see him doing in the chat.
He literally moved chats, bro.
I
Maybe
know,
he
I know.
moved because y'all are trolling him.
No, I'm not
No.
trolling
Wait,
him.
wait,
I'm
wait.
using
How
his
are we
tactics
trolling?
against him.
Wait. I'd like to talk to that guy. How are we trolling?
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna go into this. I love it when a troll
Oh,
goes.
okay.
Wait. How was I trolling? Do you tell
Okay.
me?
Well, there you
How did I
go.
rob that house again?
Oh, so you
Take
think
care.
Dennis,
Take
so
care,
you can't
bud.
back
You
up your
can go
claim.
downstairs too if you
Okay.
want.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he
Anyway,
ran away.
Boring.
hold on a minute. Now, as far as
Sorry, let Snowy
probably
talk.
from,
I'd
like,
like to
the
hear
drone
Snowy
server.
talk because people rarely ever get to have the mic after speaking with Darth, and I'd like Snowy to talk because I'm interested in his view.
Well, I think I've kind of already laid it out. Like, we fundamentally all have to make an assumption. Science is more reliable than Darth's way of view because he has to make more assumption. That's just Occam's razor. It's a basic form of logic, you know? Like, he makes the assumption about God, God's nature, the Bible, all of these things. Science very simply just says we can rely on our senses to a degree, and we can have predictability in the universe, and that's all you need in order for science to be accurate. Whereas he needs all of these other assumptions. And
I caution trying to state any probability on these statements that you're calling your presumptions, just because you don't know how they would be, like what their value would be outside of the laws of rationality and outside of existence.
That's just gibberish.
But he's
That's just, what does that even mean?
Hang on just a second. Like exist, right?
Yeah.
He's not assigning a probability.
Utility in which worldview?
Well, I mean, we were talking about laws, I suppose, like against murder.
Well, it depends. Well, in which worldview? A God worldview or a not God worldview?
Any worldview. I mean, he was talking about an atheistic
yes,
worldview.
sir. Listen to me. That is a fundamental mistake. Okay, because only one worldview can be true. All other worldviews are mutually exclusive and contradictory. So there can't be any worldview.
Okay.
So if I say to you the sky is blue because of God, and you say the sky is blue because not God, one of those statements is false. So we have two worldviews there, but one of them is false. You cannot assert and have it be viable and intelligible in both worldviews. It might be semantically apprehensible in both worldviews, but metaphysically, the statement cannot be true because one of those worldviews is false. Do you understand?
What's the argument for that?
Yeah. Well, what would be the argument for that?
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Could just use modus pogen.
All right, I'm back. So when we talk about concepts, in order for them to be viable, we need to know which worldview we're speaking.
Is it really this question?
there was some goofball in philosophy that said you could disprove God.
Yeah, you can. If your God is logically impossible, you can disprove.
Anti-theism presupposes theism.
Amen, bro.
Owned.
Why does it presuppose theism?
Why? Because in order to even implicitly claim you have logic and reason, demonstrability, or proof, you're going to need there to be a God and a God with specific property.
I don't agree.
Oh, good. Okay, then tell me what the ultimate precondition is for all dependent facts, including reason. What would that be?
That sounds like a loaded question.
It's
Why
not.
is that?
It's not a loaded question. It's not a loaded question.
I'm an infinitist. It just goes all the way back with infinite justification.
Listen to me. Okay. Well, that doesn't explain the whole set. Why does the whole set exist?
I don't understand the question.
Yeah.
What kind of being is powerful?
Yeah. He's a troll. Okay.
Hey, Dom, how's it going?
Notice he thought he was going to get it. By the way, does anybody actually believe he's an infinitist? No way. That's just
brother Dom, how's it going?
Okay. Do not overtalk me. Okay. When you hear me talking, don't overtalk me, or you will be server muted without warning. Okay?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. Now, he thought he was going to get me with being an infinitist, but that doesn't explain why the whole set exists. Nice try, no cigar.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of cause you would need in order to what kind of being would need to exist to create an infinite question?
He's one of the atheist sophists over from Modus Ponens, and what they do in certain debates is they really don't argue for what their actual position is, because they can't really argue for a worldview. There's no way to establish their model of reality. So what they will do is they will throw out certain philosophy-speak or philosophical vocabulary or nomenclature that really doesn't address the problem. Does anybody really believe that he believes that there's an infinity of causal succession? Does anybody believe that? And number two, even if he did, how would he be able to account for that? Number three, how would he be able to account for dependency relationships? Could he do that? No. So there's no way, unless you presuppose the Christian God. In other words, you say, yes, the Christian God exists because of his self-disclosure, and that he exists, his properties and attributes are what are ontologically necessary in order to have intelligibility, coherence, and reason. So if you deny that, then you're going to have to tell me what is the ground of the reason why anything at all exists. So saying one is an infinitist doesn't explain why anything at all exists. It was just a throwaway philosophy-speak statement meant to, bamboozle, but it didn't.
So why is the impersonal absolute not viable compared to the personal absolute?
Well, number one, it doesn't exist because the personal absolute, the God of the Bible, has disclosed that he exists. Number two, those who reject God's self-disclosure and they're operating from an impersonal absolute, how are they going to be able to account for it? They will be asserting
I'm talking about from the logical perspective, looking at
perspective. No, you're going to if you're going to make dependent statements, right? You're going to have to explain why anything at all exists. That's going to be either a personal absolute or an impersonal absolute. If you do not accept the personal absolute, whether you deny it or just simply don't accept it, then by default, you're going to be operating from the impersonal absolute. How are they going to account for it without violating their own criterion of belief? The answer is they can't. So their position is hopelessly incoherent. Now,
I'm trying to get a good grasp of it.
Let me finish. They will not admit it, okay? Because they're cockroach atheists. They love their darkness, okay? They do not want there to be a God, and that's why they think that they have reasons that God does exist, but none of them actually hold water, okay? Number two, They don't care how incoherent atheism is as long as they concoct some lie that they can give to other people or say to themselves. Many of these philosophical responses are just philosophical double talk and double speak meant to confuse. Just like when he said he's an infinitist. Okay? It didn't address the question at all.
So the impersonal absolute could be a lot of things. It can take different forms. Like there could be this eternal
conceptually, they can try to plug that in all they want. They could say it was a banana. Okay, but the point is, they're not going to be able to account for it. The only way that we can account for that which is eternal, that which is ultimate, absolute, the ground of all dependent states, is that it must be personal and it must act in self-disclosure and it must have certain properties to ensure that its self-disclosure reaches us in a way that we cannot be wrong. And that's going to include not only the personal absolute being non-dependent, non-contingent, but it's also going to include that is the personal absolute God, the God of the Bible, is omniscient and omnipotent, sovereign, and has a sovereign plan by which he executes. So
criticisms of what I was saying, like criticisms of my belief, and and I want to hear those because I think my rationale is quite solid.
I think
you went back and fixed it by saying, well, we have to assume the opposite of what I was just saying.
So does anybody disagree with what I said, like ultimately, or are we?
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I listen? Okay, I'd love to hear people's disagreement because I.
All right. What
DB, can I speak to you in casual chat real quick?
Yeah. Okay. So he's asking for things that you're not going to be able to make sense of empirically, at least not at first. But you went immediately there because you want to talk about how much you know about science. So stop doing that and instead go, wait, what's your argument for that? Why can't I rely on this type of reasoning? Why can't I use empiricism? Do that first.
Well, hold on. Are you just having a problem with how I debated him or what my philosophy is? Because if it's about Darth, look, by the end of the by the end of the
tic-tac-toe, right? You got to take control of the argument.
I mean, look, by the end of the conversation, Darth was simply doing personal insults against me. He rage quit. I think I did very well.
He didn't rage quit. All of you did exactly what he wanted. All of you did it. Like 5 people came in here. No better. 5 people came in. Can you hear me? 5 people came in here and just started like getting all up on his nuts, and it just gives him evidence to say, "See, these guys are trolls."
The problem is I wasn't trolling, and it's very obvious I wasn't trolling. If anybody,
we're not talking about you.
We're not talking
about others.
Look, here's what happened. You were making a lot of serious mistakes. People came in the room, gave him an excuse to leave. Nothing, and he left. He did not leave the room because of anything you said.
Well, I'm willing to listen to the mistakes. I mean, because I legitimately have. I
found a mistake.
Okay, I'm.
You said that you.
Don't listen to Orson. He's not going to tell you something.
Orson's
a
global. Wait, listen.
Stop! No, come
guys,
on.
I want to listen to Orson,
Holy
please.
shit. You said that your assumptions are necessarily. You said it was necessarily true that everyone makes assumptions, and then you said the Christian worldview is possibly true, and if the Christian worldview is true, then it's false. That it's, it would be false that everyone makes assumptions. You conceded that. So you say, and then it's not necessarily true because it might be false.
I think the way I would edit that argument, thinking back on that, it's that for Christianity to be true, you have to fundamentally assume something. And because you are saying Christianity doesn't need to make an assumption, then
he's not.
You would be in.
Oh my God! He's not saying that. He's a presuppositional apologist. He says you have to make sense of anything. You have to assume the Christian worldview. In order to make sense of anything, you have to assume the Christian worldview. That's what he's saying. So I don't like. This is the 3rd time I've said this.
But hold on. He's telling me he doesn't have to make an assumption. He's saying it's automatically true. And
you're hopeless, man.
Yeah. So real quick, dude. With what you were saying,
calm down, Joe. Jesus, Joe.
Hold on. With what you were saying about the assumptions, right? You made a mistake there, and I caught it, and I was like, oh, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay.
So Darth asserts that assumptions are chosen. You have to push back against that. This idea is based on what he tries to paint properly basic beliefs as. He tries to say properly basic beliefs are arbitrary. And this notion is just false, and it gives him grounds. When you say, yeah, I agree with the idea that they're chosen, then he can just come back with, well, okay, well, why can't I choose something else? These aren't chosen. Properly basic beliefs are not chosen. They are a circumstance that we find ourselves in, right?
No.
So how would you argue it then?
Even if
Okay.
even if they're chosen, it doesn't make them arbitrary because they could be non-arbitrarily chosen.
This is true, but these are not chosen. So I'm telling you, this is the grounds by which he argues. So the best way
That
to
just seems
debate
like
Darth is
that seems like not really relevant. Who cares if they're chosen or not?
it's relevant because he's going to try to assert that they're arbitrary, and there's not
Right,
good
but even if they're chosen, it doesn't follow that they're arbitrary.
No, but
How is it relevant if they're chosen?
it's hard to argue why they're not arbitrary, right?
Even
If you
if
already
they're
make
chosen,
if you already make the assumption that I can choose something else, I could choose something else, then it's hard to argue that you didn't just choose these and you happen to find yourself in the position that
Seems unrelated.
look, even if
You
they're
certainly
chosen,
couldn't have chosen otherwise.
If they're
That's
chosen or
the
if they're
point,
not chosen, they could still be arbitrary. So the fact that they're chosen has
No,
nothing to do with them being arbitrary.
yeah, sure, but I'm telling you how he argues, right?
So then
I
your
agree with what
point
you're
just
saying, but his argument is that if you could choose these and you could not choose these, then how do you argue that they're valid? And you can't. That's
but that
a
doesn't
trap.
follow.
No, but it does.
You just agree that it doesn't.
Okay.
No,
so
what I agreed with is the idea that just because they're chosen doesn't make them necessarily arbitrary, right? But like this idea of choosing properly basic beliefs, this is problematic.
Why?
Right? Because if you find yourself in a position in which you could reject these, then everything breaks down. Right?
Why?
Why do properly basic beliefs break down if you reject them? So if you were to reject like the idea of your ability to reason being valid, do you see why that's a problem when having a conversation?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's that. It's literally just that.
Well,
all it seems like you're saying is that if you have the laws of logic, right, then you can't question the laws of logic, because in order to question the laws of logic, you would have to use the laws of logic in order to question.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
No, that was a better interpretation, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a less dumb version. Good job, Yuri. That was very cogent.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at
Wait,
all.
That's what you should be saying, maybe.
No,
Right, you
no,
should be saying that.
That's obviously true. Right?
No, it's actually a bad point, but it's a better point than your terrible point.
Yeah, the thing about logic is a really bad point, right? Because if logic entails not logic, then not logic follows.
Yeah, but this wouldn't be on the same grounds that Darth is arguing it, right? We're not talking about what I would argue.
Complete
what
sidestep.
Darth actually argues, right? So if he argues about the arbitrariness of properly basic beliefs, if you're saying you can choose those, okay, in the event that you were to choose to not accept your ability to reason is valid, you find yourself in a position in which nothing makes sense.
Just sounds like an appeal to consequence.
It wouldn't be in virtue of the choice, right? It'd
right.
Something else.
Appeal to consequence is not necessarily. It's a informally fallacious idea, right? But not a formally fallacious idea. So
wait, what?
The fuck?
Informal
fallacies.
Informal. Informal fallacies aren't the same as. Informal fallacies aren't the same as formal fallacies.
You just cut out, so we thought you said we thought you said
right. Hold on.
Oh God, worse.
Yeah, I thought he said formally twice, Joe. Yeah.
That's right.
You're just pointing out you can't hear him, Joe.
May I kind of get something about this?
Do you not have a problem with informal fallacies?
Do I not have a problem with informal fallacies?
You seem to say it wasn't a problem.
Oh yeah, because informal fallacies have to be demonstrated. They're not structurally wrong necessarily, right? So
you haven't demonstrated your point.
No, but the idea is that you would have to demonstrate why this is a fallacy. right?
No, it is a fallacy.
Yes. No. So if I have an informal fallacy, dog, you have to show, like, if I say slippery slope,
Simply
like,
calling something a fallacy isn't sufficient. You have to also
hold on, Eddie. I got
Yeah,
this.
you can't just
Eddie,
say straw
I-
man and then go,
hold on.
now
I
prove
got
me
this.
wrong.
I got this. So informal fallacies are not problems with,
We just
like,
explained it 3 times.
We've heard that before.
Dog, this is
All
not.
right,
This
hey,
is not.
I'm gonna take my leave now.
Look, all he's saying is that informal fallacies
You guys have
are
a
not
good one.
formal fallacies.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, I'm trying
Comrade.
to finish what I was
Yeah,
saying.
look,
like,
we already
so
know
the whole,
that informal
no,
fallacies are
the
not
whole
formal
idea is
fallacies.
that
I don't know why
you
you're bringing that up.
No, listen. Just listen for a second. You might see what I'm saying.
Listen, guys.
So I can apply a slippery slope that is not fallacious. If that's true, then you have to show why.
We
this
all
is
know
fallacious.
this already. You just want to hear yourself
Wait,
talk.
but then it wouldn't be a slippery slope.
No,
Yeah, it would just be an inference.
Still be a slippery
No,
slope.
right.
No, it wouldn't.
So-
It would just be an
usually
inference.
turned up to 11 in here.
All I'm hearing is you could reapply this to Darth and say, Darth, you can't say Darth is wrong when he begs the question because you can't demonstrate that it's wrong.
No. It depends on what type of question is being begged, dude.
That's an informal fallacy. Begging the
Look,
question.
all it is,
They're completely
you guys don't get this
fucking
basic- you
in
guys
the
don't get
weeds
this
and have no
basic
idea what to
thing.
do.
Look, if you say something, if you guys say something, you guys not hear me? If
We
you
can.
guys say something, then you have to support it. If you say it's this fallacy, it's not crazy to ask you to explain why.
He did explain why.
He did.
Yeah. Who explained why what I said was a fallacy? What? Why? Who explained it?
Wait, what did he say? Hold on. Well, Vic, what did he say?
Sir, your fallacies are informal.
So everyone talked but Vic.
Please
That's what
justify
I
your
wanted
penis.
to happen.
Wait,
Yeah, he just asserted that I was appealing to the informal fallacy of consequences, right? But, like, if the consequences are valid, then why is this a fallacy?
Wait, Vic, you heard him explain why it was a fallacy. Just tell us what it was.
Yeah, Orson, go ahead.
Wait, no, Vic, you heard it.
Orson, are you there?
Whatever, Vic.
Wait, has Joe been talking this whole time? I can't hear.
Poor Joey, Joe.
Oh, he's getting picked on.
How many people are in here? Holy shit.
I've just been sitting here thinking, can someone answer me a philosophy question?
Vic, you didn't hear?
Can someone answer your philosophy question? Yes. Can they answer you a philosophy question? I don't know what that.
I have a philosophical question.
Man,
Vic, I just want to know, how do you provide for the intelligibility of statements without a personal eternal ground of well-being? Like, I've just been thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, if you look at the Wittgensteinian example of language being a game, then things are intelligible as long as you stay within the confines of that language game. Easy.
No, you're not answering it. You're not answering it on the metaphysical grounds on which is being asked. So, like,
you don't need metaphysical grounds, though. You don't need, that's superfluous.
But it's a metaphysical question.
So I'm actually taking it from the Wittgensteinian philosophical lattice, right?
Wait,
how does that assume metaphysical realism?
So in the sense that Wittgenstein, okay, so Wittgenstein argues that all interactions between more than one. Thank you. So Wittgenstein,
the Genesis account of creation does not mean that it is debunked. That those three ideas are held in widespread consensus among secular scientists does not mean that they're correct. I'm going to ask you a question. Can two scientists agreeing on something be wrong?
Yes.
Can 10 scientists agreeing on something be wrong?
Well, yeah, but it's quite highly unlikely.
Oh, okay. No, that's simply wrong. That's simply flatly wrong. Do you know that it's the fact that it's unlikely? So would you dismiss something if it's astronomically unlikely?
What does that mean, astronomically unlikely?
If some astronomically, do you know what the word astronomically means?
To do with, like, is that the fucking
yeah. You shouldn't. You know what? You shouldn't be engaging in these conversations if you don't have a.
Why are you getting mad? You know, you said you were.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm simply confronting you with your own stupidity. Here you are saying my creationism is stupid, and you don't even understand these basic concepts. Now, the fact that something is unlikely, does that mean it's not true? I asked you a question.
The fact that something isn't unlikely, does that mean it's not true?
Okay, now I asked you, can 10 scientists agreeing on something be wrong?
But to you, they can.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm talking to you. You said creationism is retarded. When I'm talking to you, your answers are slow, like you've been smoking pot or you've been drinking. You're the retarded one here right now. Now, I urge you to up your game, or I'm going to server mute you because you're not very smart. Now, I'm asking you these questions not to be educated. I want to see what your position are to see if you know what you're talking about. I already know that you don't know what you're talking about. Now, can 10 scientists agree on a phenomenon and be wrong?
Yes, they can.
Okay, now, you ever heard of the name physicist David Tong?
No.
Okay, David Tong is a British, widely respected physicist. His name is David Tong, T-O-N-G. You can go onto YouTube and you can see he delivered a brilliant lecture on quantum mechanics. After he delivered this brilliant lecture on quantum mechanics that hardly anybody would disagree with in the quantum community who are physicists, do you know what he said at the end of his lecture? He stated what is the widespread consensus view on quantum mechanics, okay? All right. Now, your view is because there is a consensus view on an old Earth, an old universe, and evolution, because there's a widespread consensus. Therefore, it debunks Christianity. Okay, do not overtalk me. Overtalk me again, and we will be done, and you will not speak. Okay, bye. Warned you. Yeah, we have a simple retard teenager who thinks he knows about science, and he's a moron. He's been brainwashed into a widespread paradigm, and because many scientists have become either atheist or atheistic, he thinks therefore it's true. Who's the moron? Now, you were warned multiple times, do not overtalk me. You wanted to push it, boom, we're done. You won't be speaking in here again.
He was probably high or something.
Hey, Albert Einstein said that the height of ignorance is to dismiss a claim without investigation. And that guy having no understanding of what he's talking about and just ridicule.
No, he doesn't. He's just one of these dumb teenagers who's taken some science classes, and because it's dogma and science, therefore they go, oh, well, the scientists tell me it's true. Well, guess what? Two and a half generations ago, scientists were asserting that the universe was eternal. Now they're not. Oops. How'd that happen? So if a massive worldview of massive significance can be overturned by a simple observation, then there's no guarantee that massive paradigm is necessarily true. So when you say that science debunks Christianity or creationism, it does not. You would be more correct to say that the materialistic explanation for the origin of the universe, the earth, and of biological life does not agree with the Genesis account of creation. But if you're going to hold up the fact that tens of thousands of scientists agree with it, well, that's fine. But David Tong said, here is our current understanding that is held in wide consensus across the scientific community. And then he said this. Okay, this shows how stupid you are, Bulgarian. He said, if we're looking at this, and I'm going to quote him verbatim, and he's not a Christian. He said, if we're looking at quantum mechanics, the widespread consensus on the nature of quantum mechanics, if we're looking at it from slightly the wrong perspective, we could be entirely wrong. So David Tong, not a Bible believer, not a Christian, he's probably an atheist, said that something that is held in widespread consensus among tens of thousands of scientists all over the world, they could be entirely wrong if they're looking at the situation from a slightly wrong perspective. So who's the retard now, Bulgarian? And had I let him continue, it would have been fruitless, because at a certain point when they realize that they're outclassed, outmaneuvered, and they're cornered, that's when they become argumentative and they go to plan B to throw a stick of dynamite into the conversation and blow it up. Never fails, folks. Never fails.
Clockwork. Ain't that right?
Like clockwork.
That's right.
I mean, listen. When I was late in my teens, going through junior high school, I had been taught evolution, and I believed it just like anybody else. And then I began to investigate criticisms of evolution, and to my amazement, I found out, although it was not held in a consensus or a majority view, that there were some very, very smart people, a few of which are scientists, who started pointing out the philosophical underpinnings of some of these belief systems, including evolution. And that what I had been told was scientific evidence was simply highly theoretical and conjectural. But that which is highly theoretical and conjectural was presented as scientific fact, and I had found out that I had been lied to. Now, am I a conspiracy theorist? No. Do I think there's a conspiracy to deceive people? No. What we have seen is, since the time of Charles Darwin, is that scientists have decided to abandon fiat creation or God for a not God worldview. And so then they will naturally concoct all sorts of materialistic explanations for everything. Okay.
What would you say are the biggest errors in that, in the theory, right?
God's eyewitness testimony is always true, and God said he created the world in 6 days. And their interpretation of the past is incorrect. David Tong said, if you're looking at it from slightly the wrong perspective, you'll come to the wrong conclusion. If you just have a slightly off perspective, suppose you're sitting on a hilltop 3,000 years ago, and you look up at the sky, and you see that big round yellow ball going up and down. And then you see that kind of grayish white ball that we call the moon, and we see that going around the earth. Okay? Now, is the observation and conclusion that the moon orbits the earth correct?
No, that was given.
What?
What? Say? Oh no, I thought you were asserting the opposite. Yeah.
No, is the moon or 3,000 years ago sitting on a hilltop? If they look from the phenomenon they looked at, and they said the moon is orbiting the earth, were they correct, Jax?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, good. And they go, wow, the yellow ball is doing the same thing as the white gray ball, so they're both orbiting the earth. Was that correct?
Nope.
Why not? Because they made a slightly wrong assumption of perspective. Their perspective was to assume that they were just simply at rest. Did they have any visible reason to suspect that they were not at rest? No, they didn't at that time. And so from that little tiny perspective, assumption that they are at rest, they wrongly concluded, didn't they? And so if you start from some wrong assumptions, you can logically conclude to the wrong answer. Like, for example, that random mutations aided by step-by-step survival can build genomes. Oops, there's no observational support for that. Beneficial mutations do not support that idea. And that's the whole foundation that evolution is based upon. But they just ram that down the throats of little kiddies. Oh, well, these mutations happen little by little. Okay, we got billions of years. We got 13.7 billions of years, and we got billions and billions and billions of planets. Even if you had a trillion Earths, that wouldn't be sufficient enough trials to build the coding sequences just for a couple of proteins. That's how mathematically remote it is. And in fact, this mathematical improbability, although it doesn't prove it, was so powerful that it caused Anthony Flew, who was a lifelong champion of atheism and a staunch philosophical defender of atheism, to abandon his atheism toward the end of his life, because he realized there's no way that random mutations could build the genome of the animal kingdom, even allowing for 13.7 billion years and billions, if not trillions, of planets. People think, oh, that's a large number. But what you don't understand is those numbers are tiny in comparison to the improbability is going to required simply to build the coding sequence for the most least complex proteins.
What was that guy's name again?
Anthony Flew. Would you like a copy of his book about how he went from going from an atheist to a deist?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hold on. All right, I'll upload it in about a minute.
Viable that you should reject it.
I don't think that was the idea.
Oh, okay.
So I think the point is that if it doesn't make any difference to any person's experience and it's not conceptually necessary, then there can't be a fact of the matter about whether it's true or not, right? The thing about other minds is that it does make a difference to someone's experience, whether they exist or not.
But when we make inferences about particular beliefs, that would make a difference in these. Like if I infer that they wanted chocolate ice cream, you would still say that we could accept that on the basis that it